Check out this Moro arc.
Let's
go, guys.
So that's literally what it's called.
Yep.
Moro. Okay, so this is all canon, right?
Yep.
Okay, so in the future, I will be able to see whatever characters are in here in the actual show.
Yep.
Okay.
Right after Broly. Let's get it, chat.
Let's
the Moro
do
arc.
it.
Our first time watching it. Let's see.
Moro arc takes place after the events of the Tournament of Power and encounter with Broly. Sometime after, Goku arrives at Capsule Corporation to train with Vegeta in the Gravity Training Room.
Right
Vegeta inquires about Ultra Instinct, and Goku shares that he hasn't been able to activate it since the tournament. He expresses that continual rigorous training is necessary if he intends to use it again, and unexpectedly, Bulma interrupts them, requesting their presence outside. She informs them that Hercule had called, as a mysterious gang is attempting to kidnap Buu, and utilizing his instant transmission, Goku takes off, while Vegeta opts to fly. At Hercule's house, a sleeping Buu is being forced into a spaceship by a group of individuals. Hercule tries to thwart their attempts, but is unsuccessful.
Oh, hell no.
Goku and Vegeta arrive, catching the attention of the lead kidnapper, Merus. Recognizing the two, Merus is interrupted by Goku, who begins to attack the other kidnappers in the group.
Yeah, why is it so fast?
Merus uses his stun gun to incapacitate Goku and Vegeta, instructing his men to bring them along, and he'll explain the situation at their headquarters. Later, Goku regains consciousness and encounters Jocko on the Galactic Patrol HQ spaceship.
They're going way too fast.
Yeah, they're going super fast.
Goku and Vegeta, instructing his men
let's go
to
back a little bit more because this
takes off, while Vegeta opts to fly. At Hercule's house, a sleeping Buu is being forced into a spaceship by a group of individuals. Hercule tries to thwart their attempts, but is unsuccessful. Goku and Vegeta arrive, catching the attention of the lead kidnapper, Merus. Recognizing the two, Merus is interrupted by Goku, who begins to attack the other kidnappers in the group. Left with no option, Merus uses his stun gun to incapacitate Goku and Vegeta, instructing his men to bring them along, and he'll explain the situation at their headquarters. Later, Goku regains consciousness and encounters Jocko on the Galactic Patrol HQ spaceship. Merus extends his apologies to Goku for his actions, clarifying it was the only choice as Goku wouldn't listen to reason. Vegeta, questioning the need for Buu, learns from Merus that they need to recapture a dangerous criminal who'd escaped the Galactic Patrol prison. To accomplish this, they require the aid of a specific entity living within Buu, the Grand Supreme Kai.
We're going back to Z.
In the past, the Grand Supreme Kai and South Supreme Kai confront Moro, a formidable foe who hurls comets at them from the cosmos. Harnessing his unique abilities, Moro drains life energy from a neighboring planet, annihilating its ecosystems and inhabitants, and manifests a potent energy orb which he consumes. Gaining immense power, he releases an energy onslaught on the Supreme Kais, who openly admit their inability to win. Observing from a distance, the Galactic Police witness the devastating battle and recognize Moro as the destroyer of 320 planets, admitting their inability to apprehend him, and choose to entrust the task to the Supreme Kais while maintaining a safe distance. In a desperate move, the Grand Supreme Kai expels all his god power to seal Moro's magical abilities, utilizing a perilous technique known only to him, the Kai Kai Maltaru. This renders Moro vulnerable, allowing the Galactic Patrol to incarcerate him until his recent escape. In the present, Merus narrates this historical event to Goku, Vegeta, and Jocko, emphasizing that even stripped of his magic, Moro retained formidable power and was sentenced to death. However, no entity was powerful enough to actually execute the sentence. Moro, likely having
so he was just stuck in the prison, just ran out.
Some of his magical prowess, needs to be stopped with the intervention of the Grand Supreme Kai, who's now a part of Buu. Vegeta informs the group of Buu's slumber, and attempts to wake him are futile as the Galactic Patrol members are thrown into one another. Goku volunteers to assist in apprehending Moro, and Merus tells him and Vegeta that rumors of the two of them have spread throughout the cosmos, as they're supposedly quite powerful. Goku begins to explain to Merus that yet another Saiyan was discovered recently, while Vegeta continues to think about about how
Know who that
Merus
is.
was able to get the drop on both him and Goku on Earth. Goku and Vegeta are
Broly.
briefed by Merus and the Galactic King and are temporarily inducted into the Galactic Patrol with strange outfits, although they refuse to wear them and instead opt to bearing the Galactic Patrol symbol on their
cool,
gi.
okay.
Suddenly, the Saiyans
Vegeta.
notice a group of Galactic Patrol members running down the halls and are informed that the Macaroni siblings are committing crimes again. Merus offers to stop them on his own, but Vegeta insists on tagging along as he's curious to witness Merus's capabilities. The
Right.
Saiyan pair, Jocko and Merus head off, and on planet Jung, the siblings are in the middle of a heist, being pursued by
Vegeta
local
helping the
enforcers
Galactic
and the
Patrol.
Galactic Patrol.
Good
It's
stuff.
discovered that the group are attempting to steal blue aurum, a fuel source which, in the wrong hands, could build a bomb powerful enough to
Oh,
destroy a
shit.
planet. After a series of confrontations and pursuits
tweaking.
involving sabotages and escapes, the siblings are finally apprehended with the help of Goku, Vegeta, and Merus. However, Vegeta senses a concealed power in Merus, who denies such allegations and admits his inability to capture Moro single-handedly due to Moro's
Right.
boundless and growing strength. Receiving
Right.
intel about Moro's whereabouts, the group narrow their
fishy.
search to sector KT-40. Goku opts to searching for Moro's key, only to be met with the sinister smile from the villain, indicating his
Oh.
awareness of Goku's pursuit of him. Goku
Oh,
shares with
shit.
Vegeta an eerie sensation he got from Moro, stating the
God
energy
key?
felt like the agonized screams of countless souls.
people.
Merus
Oh, that's so
clarifies this
crazy.
disturbing feeling is due to Moro's capacity to siphon a planet's life force, explaining
Fam, what are they
Okay.
fighting right now?
So he basically has the ability to like kill planets,
Take their energy,
yeah,
everything.
and that's why Goku can like feel like
He
the
senses that.
screaming
Yup.
and like
He
the
senses it, and the fact that Moro even like looked at him, he was like, "Oh, you're trying to sense me?"
yeah, kind of like
This man is
I'm
a-
aware that you're like
Yeah, I'm aware you're here.
his
This man is a
unnaturally
demon, dude.
extended life. In a distant part of space, Moro, aboard his ship, discloses to Cranberry, his pilot, that someone is seeking him. Despite the diminished state of his magical abilities, though, Moro was eager to reach their destination. Meanwhile, Goku deduces that Moro's target is New Namek, though he's puzzled about how Moro discovered its confidential location.
Yeah, it was
Merus
supposed to be-
suggests Moro's restored abilities now let him detect life-rich planets, and overhearing
hell
this,
no.
one of the captured siblings known as Pasta brings up rumors he's heard about Namekians and their Dragon Balls. shocking
is
the
getting screwed
Galactic
again.
Patrol. He
Per
mentions
usual.
a fellow inmate who used to work for Frieza, seeking powerful fighters to help retrieve the balls. Apparently, this knowledge reached Moro, making the Dragon Balls his target. On
Oh, we're
Moro's
fucked now.
ship, he revels in the fact that he regained a fraction of his magic in the nick of time. He credits his restored magic, emerging around the time of Kid Boo's defeat for his prison break, as well as Cranberry's escape. Cranberry reminds Moro of the Dragon Ball's potential to grant 3 wishes and urges him to honor their agreement to let him use just 1 wish for a safe haven from Frieza's army and the
Chat, let's
okay.
be honest.
Oh
chat.
my god, this is a lot of information. Really
Chat, let's be
fast.
honest.
Hold
This
on.
man, I don't think he's gonna let him get a wish. We know how the evil people do. They do not share.
Okay, so Cranberry, this guy, is telling him, honor our deal. I want. Yeah, this shit fast as fuck. I'm like, okay, I just want to break it down. He made a deal with him. He's like, we're going to find the Dragon Balls. I'm going to make a wish.
Right.
Moro is saying, no.
Well, he
And
didn't
once
say
mine is
anything.
fulfilled, I'll no longer require your service.
Oh, so he's telling him nah.
You
fuck that.
promise I could use one of the wishes to escape to the planet where the Galactic Patrol and Frieza's army will never find me because he was part of Frieza's army. I guess I'm listening too slow.
We put
Is
it-
this speed good or
Should we put it down a little bit more?
I don't
chat?
know?
No, it's me too.
I'm just really trying to like understand.
He's going
everything.
fast with it.
He's going really fast.
Galactic Patrol. Moro agrees, needing only one wish for himself. On New Namek, Mori and 2 young Namekians are praying and enjoying their peaceful life when suddenly one of the Namekian inhabitants notices Moro's ship approaching. Recognizing the imminent threat, Goku and Vegeta, refusing to wait for Boo to wake up, decide to use instant transmission to get to New Namek quickly. They arrive just as Moro descends, while Moro, who from his vantage point recognizes Goku as the one who was seeking him earlier and assumes he's come to apprehend him. Moro was impressed with Goku's energy, and the Saiyans swiftly warn the Namekians of the incoming threat, who then gather the Dragon Balls and retreat. Vegeta confirms the unsettling nature of Moro's ki, and Goku states how he's got a bad feeling about what's coming. Moro lands and exits the ship, the Saiyan pair then noticing how
Chat, his design is so nice. As a villain, this is a unique looking design. So nice looking. It's creepy.
Yeah, he's creepy. And this whole thing of like Goku sensing that he has a lot of like trapped souls or whatever, like screaming.
And him just looking at him smirking with the evil grin.
Yeah, that's creepy.
This is good.
So many years of living. However, the scene escalates when Moro, ignoring Goku's advice to return to prison quietly, employs his magic to ensnare a young Namekian named Eska. As Moro starts to strangle the child, Vegeta intervenes, rescuing Eska. Wanting to atone for his past misdeeds against the Namekians, Vegeta challenges Moro, telling Goku to stay out of it. Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan and charges toward Moro, but is unable to land any of his attacks. He pursues the villain and lands on top of his spaceship, as Cranberry recognizes Vegeta, wondering why he's joined the Galactic Patrol. Initially, Vegeta struggles against Moro's magic, but after ascending to Super Saiyan God, he manages to land a blow to Moro. Vegeta dismisses Moro's tactics, citing familiarity with various battle techniques from past fights. Meanwhile, on the Galactic Patrol spaceship, Merus decides they need to return to HQ for the Grand Supreme Kai's help. Jocko optimistically states that the Saiyans might prevail against Moro, but Merus says it's very unlikely. Back at the front line, Moro, shedding his cloak, prepares to unveil his true magic to Vegeta. Goku acknowledges Moro's capacity to siphon life energy, evident from his recent attempt on Eska. However, Moro hints at using this skill differently this time. Concurrently in space, Merus elaborates to Jocko that Moro's attacks harness the stolen energy from planets. Moro releases an energy surge from the planet, catching Vegeta off guard, emphasizing that this force is used from the life energy of New Namek. Moro exploits the planet's innate energy, causing Vegeta to struggle. Vegeta takes flight to evade, only to be assailed by multiple energy streams of lava, pushing him toward the ground as the Namekians watch in the distance. When Vegeta lunges at Moro from the dried lava, the villain conjures an energy barrier for protection. Moro tells Vegeta his efforts are futile and uses his magic once more to thwart the Saiyans' attempts to pursue. Goku offers to step in and fight instead, but Vegeta tells him to shut up and watch. Vegeta taunts Moro about the repetitiveness of his attacks, but Moro counters, asserting that he can utilize the planet's energy until it's extinguished. Admitting his inability to approach Moro and lacking further power boosts, Vegeta questions Moro's reason for visiting New Namek, suggesting a potential alliance. Moro, while mocking Vegeta, entertains his offer, expressing his intent to gather the Namekian Dragon Balls. Doubting Vegeta's knowledge of the ball's location, Moro makes a move once more to end him with the planet's life force.
Not wasting no time.
Despite this onslaught, Vegeta withstands Moro, who now harnesses the planet's energy more aggressively. As Vegeta tries to hold off the attack, he inquires about Moro's wish, given his already immense strength. Moro confesses he seeks the full might of what he once had, which his imprisonment had diminished. Suddenly, using this confession to his advantage, Vegeta transforms into Super Saiyan Blue, easily blowing away the planet's energy that appeared to have him overwhelmed.
Distracting him.
Surprised, Moro questions if Vegeta was concealing his true strength, and Goku praises Vegeta, stating he allowed Moro to believe he could win so he'd reveal his intentions. Startled, Moro amplifies his assault, prompting Vegeta to ascend to Super Saiyan Blue Evolved, allowing him to easily evade and deliver a powerful blow, plunging Moro.
That should be a win right there.
Vegeta reverts to base form, and meanwhile, Goku notices something ominous with not only the planet, but his own energy as Moro emerges from the water. Sensing Moro's possible defeat, Cranberry decides to flee on his ship. This provides a distraction for Moro, who unleashes an onslaught of ki blasts at Goku and Vegeta and disappears.
Cranberry,
Goku finds the monster, only to discover him gathering the planet's energy once more, this time into a mass of lava.
Is that a spirit bomb?
It's soon discovered
Lava
among the Namekians that Moro was taking energy from their planet and its inhabitants, weakening them. Goku ponders about attacking Moro while he's charging energy, and instead of releasing said energy, Moro condenses and consumes it, enhancing his strength. Spotting Cranberry's departing ship, Moro uses telekinesis to ground it, stating he won't lose this battle. Goku acknowledges that Moro seems way stronger than before, and Vegeta realizes this is why Merus wanted to capture him quickly. Vegeta attempts to transform into Super Saiyan Blue once more, but is unable to, prompting Goku to believe he must be joking around. As Vegeta attempts to transform once more, Merus informs Jocko back on their spaceship that Moro is capable of stealing his opponent's energy while they're
What the fuck? Why don't
that's
you say
such
that? Oh no! Oh my god!
That's such.
That's
annoying,
dude. Why don't you tell that to them earlier when you're on the
why
ship?
would he?
What the?
Why
fuck?
would he? Right?
That's a bullshit.
But why doesn't this guy say that?
Exactly. Warn them.
And that Goku and Vegeta challenged him without knowing all the facts. Vegeta states he's unable to transform, and now with the upper hand, Moro subdues Vegeta and launches him across New Namek's surface, revealing that he too had been hiding his true intent. With increased power, Moro effortlessly pushes Vegeta further into Namek's surface with his magic. Attempting to save his ally, Goku launches a kick at Moro, but the villain is easily able to block it and retaliate by ragdolling Goku around the planet,
he has all their power.
tossing him into lava, leaving him drained. Vegeta tries to retaliate with his Galactic gun, but Moro swallows the energy blast, further growing his power. Meanwhile, on Beerus's planet, Beerus is engaged in a fishing contest with the Oracle Fish out of boredom, and Whis detects a drop in energy levels on New Namek. Whis brings this to Beerus's attention and inquires if he intends to let the events unfold. Beerus nonchalantly consents, inciting the planet's lack of interesting food. Back on New Namek, Goku attempts to use instant transmission to return to the Galactic Patrol with Vegeta, but it fails due to his depleted energy. Suddenly, Moro strikes them with a massive energy
Moro is
blast,
broken.
creating
Namek
a
is
crater,
cooked.
and remarks that such formidable foes were rare in this era, except for the Grand Supreme Kai, who had stolen his abilities. Moro swiftly lands and crushes Goku's stomach, then seizes him by the neck along with Vegeta thanks to his magic. With a final remark on how the Saiyans will allow him to grow even more powerful, Moro saps the remaining energy from Goku and Vegeta, leaving their seemingly lifeless bodies in the dust as he consumes his new meal and grows even.
Did Goku and Vegeta just lose?
This is, you know what this is giving to me? This is giving like Cell when he was like absorbing everyone and just like leaving, like they were done. That's what it's giving, but like at a heightened level.
No, this is just crazy. The amount of power this guy has, just absorbing their energy easily. Yeah, wow. Okay, this is peak right here.
Interesting, yeah.
This is peak writing. Wait, we back to DBZ.
even stronger than he imagined, much to his surprise.
He changed too, his body.
With the battle concluded, Cranberry returns and tries to convince Moro that he never tried to abandon him, although Moro catches him in his lie. Cranberry employs his scouter to pinpoint the villages on the planet, each holding a Dragon Ball.
He looks younger.
Moro has no need for it, as he can sense the Namekians himself. As Moro heads toward the nearest village, Cranberry inquires if Goku and Vegeta are dead. Moro dismisses them, stating that those who are energy drained will meet their demise naturally, and the two depart in their spaceship. Soon after, nearby Namekians rush to Goku and Vegeta, rescuing them as they're barely breathing. On Earth,
Moro messed up. They gonna bring him back.
Realizing it's been a week since Goku and Vegeta's departure, deduces the Galactic Patrol's involvement after questioning Hercule. She decides to visit her sister, Tights, to use her communicator to contact Jocko. Meanwhile, at Galactic Patrol HQ, Merus returns to find Boo awake and goes to meet him. Jocko receives a message and eventually contacts Bulma, who requests a ship to be sent
not
her
just
way.
a side character.
She wants to go see Moro herself, but Jocko hastily ends the call without giving a definite answer. Later on Namek, Mori watches over Goku and Vegeta, who have slightly recovered thanks to Eska's healing abilities. They learn they were unconscious for 3 days, and while they were resting, Moro attacked 3 villages and acquired their Dragon Balls. Suddenly, they sense Moro's power surging as he assaults another village, tossing Namekians into the surrounding flames and eliminating them one by one until someone
choking
gives
the guy
up
on
the
the
Dragon Ball. Goku regrets his inability to teleport and assist, but Mori mentions they have one last resort, Namekian assimilation. This is the technique Piccolo did with Kami, as dozens of strong Namekian warriors from each village combine to create a formidable warrior who rushes in to confront Moro.
Man, that ain't gonna do shit.
Moro swiftly kills this warrior with a single blow before he can react, leaving
he got god power.
Villagers in shock. Moro sarcastically apologizes for killing the warrior, stating he was gone before he could even see his
he killed
face.
multiple people.
Mori is deeply distraught over the loss of their last hope, the Namekian savior. Vegeta observes that Moro seems to have grown even stronger during their unconsciousness and regrets that they've been reduced to hiding. Goku inquires about how Moro was able to locate the Dragon Balls, and Vegeta explains that Moro is tracking the key of the Namekians, much like how Frieza did in the past. Goku states the final Dragon Ball should be safe for now, and suggests that the surviving Namekians temporarily evacuate the villages and conceal their energy to elude Moro's detection. Meanwhile, trampling over deceased Namekians at Moro's hands, Cranberry searches for the Dragon Ball within the houses, but struggles to find it. Moro directs him to a specific house, and Cranberry quickly locates it. He queries Moro about his ability to pinpoint their location, but Moro remains silent, indicating another Dragon Ball in the distance.
So he just got he just got the ability to detect them for real now, because before he
couldn't.
Yeah, now he has it. So now he, instead of detecting the Namekians, he's just a Dragon Radar now.
Well,
that's
do you think that has to do with kind of like getting
he's getting stronger,
Vegeta and and Goku?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on Earth,
he's getting stronger.
Dende senses a grave disturbance on his home planet. Piccolo, feeling the same concern, joins him on the lookout and speculates whether it has any connection to Goku and Vegeta, who had left Earth a few days ago. Moro continues his pursuit of the Dragon Balls, now in possession of 6 of them, as he heads toward the final one's location. Goku and Vegeta sense Moro approaching their position, and with surprise, Vegeta Vegeta notes that Moro must be able to sense the Dragon Balls directly. With limited options, Goku decides to get dressed and confront him, although Mori points out he and Vegeta nearly died last time.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
Vegeta
hard fight.
follows, but pauses to inquire about Mori's feelings towards him regarding his past involvement in wiping out Namekians. Mori acknowledges that the memory can't be erased, but assures Vegeta that they only seek peace and the preservation of the planet. Vegeta joins Goku and instructs him to ensure the planet's restoration should he survive, and Goku agrees. Moro reaches the final Dragon Ball's location, surprised to find the two Saiyans are still alive. Cranberry states that Saiyans are a powerful race, but Moro vows to ensure their demise this time. Goku and Vegeta, recognizing Moro's pinpointed their location, powers up for battle, but their recent injuries leave them weakened. They rush toward Moro's ship, but before they collide, they're intercepted by a Galactic Patrol spaceship. Merus, riding atop the ship, shoots off the wings of Moro's vessel. Cranberry falls and Moro escapes through the roof, pursued by Iriko piloting the ship. Merus closes in on Moro and deploys a substance that encapsulates Moro's body, much to everyone's surprise. Now in control, Merus slams Moro to the ground and he's unable to break free of the substance. Goku inquires whether they plan to return Moro to prison in his current state, but Merus explains the substance won't hold him for long and requests backup aboard the ship. Suddenly, Jocko and Boo descend from the savior is here. Boo still asleep. Jocko explains that Boo woke up briefly but experienced motion sickness during the journey, rendering him unconscious again. However, Boo eventually awakens and Jocko informs Vegeta that Boo can now seal Moro's magic thanks to the Galactic Patrol's hypnotist, which had rekindled the Grand Supreme Kai's memories within Boo. Upon seeing Moro, Boo recalls him as if he were the Grand Supreme Kai and becomes enraged by the number of his friends Moro had killed in the past. Moro, enraged with seeing the Grand Supreme Kai once more, breaks free from his confinement and prepares to battle Boo. With his anger continuing to boil, Boo lets out a furious cry and charges at Moro.
Boo's about to cook.
A wall of fire from the ground. However, Boo effortlessly gets past it and delivers a powerful blow to Moro's face, surprising Goku and
love
Vegeta.
this so much.
Moro punctures Boo's stomach,
what the fuck?
He's won the fight, but Boo's regenerative abilities give him the upper hand as he flings Moro into the air and launches a barrage of ki blasts at him, impressing onlookers.
Peak fighting is back, baby.
Moro attempts the energy absorption technique he used on the Saiyans, but Boo continues to dominate him. Vegeta points out to Goku that Boo's energy isn't diminishing and that Moro's absorption doesn't seem to affect Boo the way that it did them. Feeling hopeful, Goku declares Boo can finish this, and Moro inquires about Boo's abilities, but Boo simply laughs in response. In the ongoing battle, Boo maintains the upper hand against Moro, displaying a clear advantage.
Hell yeah.
Moro's key attacks prove ineffective against Boo, thanks to Boo's distinctive body structure and regenerative abilities. Goku, who's observing the battle, notes that despite not seeing Boo fight for a long time, he seems even stronger than before. Merus wonders if this newfound strength might be related to the unlocking of Boo's potential after his recent memory restoration. And Moro, meanwhile, having been thrown against a nearby rock, becomes infuriated, believing that he would have never been defeated if he had access to his full power. Boo taunts him, referring to him as weak, and sprouts 4 additional arms from his body. Then charges at Moro and relentlessly pummels him into the ground. Goku is astonished at Boo's dominance, but Merus remains concerned about potential tricks Moro might have.
And this is why they have to keep him asleep in Dragon Ball Super. He's too much of a menace, man.
Up his sleeve. He urges Buu to use a certain technique while Moro is defenseless, and Buu agrees as his detached arms continue to pummel Moro viciously. Buu grabs Moro's limbs, immobilizing him as Buu prepares his move, but suddenly the sky darkens. Amidst the confusion, the group noticed that Porunga, the eternal dragon, has been summoned. Cranberry is responsible for summoning the dragon using Eska and resorts to violence against other Namekians, including Mori, who try to interfere. Porunga announces that he'll be granting 3 wishes. Cranberry's first wish is for his health to be restored since he's on the brink of death, and Porunga does so. Goku and Vegeta rush toward Porunga to stop Cranberry, while Moro telepathically contacts him, urging him to wish for the restoration of his full magical power.
Don't do it, bro.
Although Cranberry hesitates, wanting to inquire about his own wish to
Cranberry,
escape
don't be a
to
dumbass,
distant
please.
planet, Moro threatens him, and Cranberry complies. Cranberry's second wish is to restore Moro's magical power, and Moro immediately senses the surge in his strength. Goku and Vegeta in the distance
R.I.P. Namek
as well, and Moro vanishes to head straight for Porunga, knocking Goku and Vegeta aside. While Cranberry is in the midst of making his final wish to be transported to a remote planet, Moro suddenly materializes behind him and thrusts
betrayed him. That's what his dumbass gets.
Chest, ending his life. Moro then uses Cranberry's translation device to speak to Porunga and prepares to make his final wish.
Pisses me off.
In the meantime, Merus, Jocko, and Buu board the spaceship piloted by Iriko, making their way toward Moro. Moro's second and final wish is granted, and Porunga vanishes as the Dragon Balls scatter across New Namek. Goku and Vegeta arrive at Moro's location a moment too late, surrounded by the lifeless bodies of Namekians. They demand to know what Moro's second wish was, but he remains tight-lipped, telling them that they'll know soon enough. Just as the Galactic Patrol arrives, Moro bids his farewell and conceals his key to escape undetected. Buu uses his powers to heal Eska, but cannot revive the others who have perished. At that moment, the planet begins to tremble as Moro initiates the process of draining all the energy from it. Suddenly, Buu returns Goku and Vegeta to their full strength, but when Goku turns to express his gratitude, he finds the Grand Supreme Kai standing in Buu's place. The Grand Supreme Kai explains that until Moro is defeated, he will temporarily swap places with Buu, and they can still save New Namek if they hurry and confront Moro together. Goku prepares to use instant transmission as he, Vegeta, and the Grand Supreme Kai teleport to face Moro. Merus hopeful that the trio can finish him off. As Moro continues draining energy from both the people and the planet of New Namek,
this arc is lit.
Jocko and Eska make their escape aboard the Galactic Patrol spaceship. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta in their Super Saiyan Blue form, alongside the Grand Supreme Kai, materialize at the edge of Namek's atmosphere. They charge toward Moro together, but find themselves striking an afterimage. They attempt 2 more times and fail, realizing that Moro's actual body isn't present, leaving them puzzled about the source of his energy absorption. The Grand Supreme Kai spots Moro nearby.
He's using Genjutsu?
That? Yeah, he's like the Katsuki, like how when they were in the Zoom meeting, their body was like physically not there.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like that, I see. Wow.
To charge in once more. However, Vegeta stops him, cautioning that Saiyans can't survive in the vacuum of space. The Grand Supreme Kai decides to confront Moro alone, but finds himself unable to pose any challenge as Moro effortlessly deflects and counters all his attacks, now having more of Namek's energy fueling him. Moro strikes him forcefully, sending the Kai deeper into space as he pursues him, out of Goku Goku and Vegeta's sight. Meanwhile, Merus receives word from Iriko that Moro and the Grand Supreme Kai have left Namek's orbit, prompting them to prioritize helping Goku and Vegeta first. In space, the Grand Supreme Kai continues to valiantly battle Moro, though he's clearly outmatched. Moro taunts the Grand Supreme Kai, stating his powers no longer trouble him, but the Kai prepares to use his magic sealing technique once more. Confident, Moro tells the Kai to unleash his attack, but he remains motionless, confirming Moro's suspicions that he now lacks the power to unleash the sealing spell at all, a fact the Kai confirms. Meanwhile, Goku states that Moro's growing stronger, and suddenly the Galactic Patrol appear and the group take off to pursue him.
Hell yeah, Dion, this arc is lit.
On board the ship, Goku questions why the Kai was unable to use the sealing technique, and Merus states it must be due to the splitting that Buu underwent long ago. Because the good Buu inherited the physical appearance of the Grand Supreme Kai, Merus hypothesizes that in turn, his god power was transferred to the evil Buu instead. Goku
so then, wait. Lore drop of the century here. So evil Buu had God key this whole time?
Powers, yeah. And he kept it. And when they did the like split or whatever,
oh yeah,
it went to him instead.
What the fuck?
So this whole
So okay, so I know this has been a debate for like a long ass time. Does this make Kid Buu stronger than Super Buu? Because I know a lot of people like saying that Super Buu is the pinnacle of, you know, Buus. Like, he's the best out of all of them, the strongest. It's my tie. Interesting. No? Still no? Oh, okay. Wait, but that's some insane shit, man.
Was surprised that Kid Buu actually had god power within him. And meanwhile, the Grand Supreme Kai continues to get pummeled in space by Moro. Moro taunts the Kai and delivers a powerful kick that sends him hurtling further into space. Upon crash landing, the Grand Supreme Kai's latent memories are unlocked, revealing a vision of the past when Goku defeated Kid Buu with the Spirit Bomb, and realizes that when he was killed, his power vanished along with it. Moro was able to view the memories as well, and revels in the fact that no one in the universe could possibly defeat him anymore. Back on Merus' ship, Vegeta acknowledges that their only option now is to rely on sheer brute force rather than deception.
Yeah, but a lot of people like saying that Super Buu is stronger than Kid.
Merus questions the Saiyans on if they can guarantee they're more powerful than Moro. Vegeta confidently asserts that aside from Moro's magic, they're superior fighters, with a single Super Saiyan Blue at full power being sufficient enough to handle him. Satisfied, Merus dons a spacesuit and vows to retrieve Moro and return him to Namek, and he takes off. As Moro prepares to land what appears to be a finishing blow to the Grand Supreme Kai, Merus intervenes and provides a distraction long enough to bring the Kai to safety. He informs him of his plan to bring Moro back to Namek and inquires whether the Kai can use instant transmission, and the Kai confirms his ability. Their conversation is interrupted by Moro, who lands irate, prepared to do away with the Galactic Patrol. Merus distracts Moro with his weapon, prompting him to attempt a finishing blow on the Galactic Patrolman. Merus uses the opportunity to use the substance from his arsenal to grab hold of a compromised boulder and hurl it at Moro, who quickly turns to destroy it with ease. However, Merus suddenly appears from the air and momentarily blinds Moro using his jet booster in his boots. This gives the Grand Supreme Kai the opportunity to grasp Moro and teleport him back to Namek, where Goku and Vegeta await. Merus urges Jocko to take the ship back to Namek, but Jocko remains confident that Goku and Vegeta can finish the job. Meanwhile, Moro appears to gloat over the remaining energy on the planet for him to consume. When Vegeta threatens to destroy him, Moro laughs and reveals the Saiyans have forgotten about something quite important: the third wish from Porunga. At the Galactic prison, 2 Galactic patrol members evaluate the aftermath of Moro's escape. One of them suggests caution regarding the other convicts, but his colleague reassures him that the prisoners couldn't break out on their own. They proceed to the control tower filled with hundreds of prisoners, where they observe Calamus leading the Macaroni gang to their cells. Suddenly, a surge of energy from new Namek races through the cosmos and touches down at the Galactic prison, disabling the
They're gonna
power
escape.
and causing all the convict cells to open. The
that was
convicts
his
start to break free, including Saganbo, a follower of Moro, who greets a few of his fellow inmates and mobilizes a group of Galactic Patrol prisoners to attack the guards,
Oh, this is
seizing
getting
their
good.
weapons and demanding the return of their spaceships. He invites other convicts, including the Macaroni gang, to join their uprising. Meanwhile, Jocko and Merus, still aboard their Galactic Patrol spaceship, receive word of the prison break from Iriko. Eska then has a sudden realization, recalling Moro's third wish, the release of all prisoners. As Moro informs Goku and Vegeta about his wish, the convicts arrive on a spaceship nearby. The ship unleashes a
They got there
powerful
fast.
energy beam at Goku, Vegeta, and the Grand Supreme Kai, but they narrowly evade it. Moro lands on the ship, and Saganbo shows his respect by bowing. Moro praises him
he
for
has a whole
assembling
team,
a small army and offers to share his power with them in return. Below, Goku and Vegeta sense the convicts' energy surge as a group of them leap from the ship, ready to confront the trio.
Yeah, getting you for his clone over
unleashes
here.
the convicts, and Goku and Vegeta transform into perfected Super Saiyan Blue and effortlessly defeat them, leaving everyone in awe of their strength. Saganbo, however, motivates the convicts to keep fighting or risk return to prison. The battle continues, but Moro begins to absorb energy from Goku and Vegeta once more, causing them to revert to Super Saiyan God. Goku charges at Moro, but he reverts to Super Saiyan 3
It's
and
so
is
fucked
struck
up.
down by Saganbo. Vegeta, also weakened by the energy absorption, struggles, as does the
Chat,
Grand
we're
Supreme
screwed.
Kai due to his previous battle with Moro in space. Goku and Vegeta, now in their Super Saiyan form, continue to fend off the convicts while Goku questions Moro's motives. Moro explains that he aims to create an ideal galaxy where he can consume planets as he pleases. He despises the idea of preserving peace and believes that such individuals should be eradicated. Goku and Vegeta then unwillingly revert to their base forms, drained of their max power once more. As they continue to fend off the convicts, who regrettably aren't getting any weaker thanks to Moro, Merus and Jocko descend to the ground to aid their comrades.
At this point,
utilizing advanced
send
weaponry
Beerus,
to
send
That's what I'm
incapacitate
saying.
convicts. Merus
Let them
suggests
handle it.
retreating,
This is too
acknowledging that as things are now, they can't defeat Moro. Eska uses his healing ability to restore some of the
He
Grand
pretty much made Goku and Vegeta useless. Without even
Yeah,
fighting,
he
he's
like
he's just absorbing the fucking energy.
Supreme Kai's strength, and Saganbo attempts to destroy the spaceship they came in, although Merus thwarts his attempt, surprising Saganbo as he knocked the gun from his hand from a sizable distance. Goku tells Iriko to retreat with the ship, and Merus urges the Grand Supreme Kai to retreat using his instant transmission, which he does swiftly as he takes Eska with him. Goku grabs Jocko and Merus, intending to use instant transmission to escape to Galactic Patrol HQ, but he's delayed by Vegeta, who refuses to leave out of pride and instructs Goku to go on.
Oh god, this is so idiotic from him, not gonna lie. He's crashing out.
With no other option, Goku teleports away with everyone but Vegeta. Vegeta catches up to Iriko's spaceship and demands entry, and meanwhile, Goku and the others appear in the bathroom of the Galactic King, confused on what Vegeta meant from his speech. As the convicts chase the ship Vegeta's on, Iriko pushes it to max speed, narrowly evading their pursuit. Iriko informs Vegeta that they're also returning to HQ, but Vegeta refuses and insists on heading into a different direction, planet Yardrat. Meanwhile, the Galactic
we're going
Patrol
there.
prisoners
Hold on.
board their ship as Moro completes the absorption of the last remnants of life energy.
That's
from
the instant
Namek.
transmission planet where
Saganbo
Goku was
inquires
at.
about
what?
the sudden
The planet where
disappearance of the
Goku went to
Galactic
learn instant transmission before he
that's yeah.
when he
yeah,
met
it's
Trunks.
Like, it was like aliens.
Yeah, planet Yardrat.
Patrol and inquires if they're dead.
Interesting.
But
I wonder why
Moro
he's going there.
clarifies that they escaped using teleportation. Saganbo then questions Moro on who they should pursue first, but Moro decides against going after anyone, considering powerful individuals like them rare. He states that they're free to roam the universe for now, but warns that he'll kill them if they interfere again. Moro then questions Saganbo on if he knows of any planets abundant in
Dude, imagine
life
they meet up with
energy, given
Frieza.
his past
Yeah.
involvement
That'll
in a
be
crew
some
that
insane
ravaged
head
That's
bump
so
right
true.
there.
Saganbo confirms, and the two head back inside the ship, where some scouts board smaller vessels to search the galaxy, and the main ship departs from the dying new Namek. At Galactic Patrol HQ, the Galactic King learns of the escape of prisoners from the Galactic prison, including Moro. He assumed Merus would resolve the issue, but is informed that Moro's strength exceeded their expectations.
True.
Goku, walking alongside them, notices Eska, who fortunately made it back to HQ. Goku questions
Nice.
where Boo is, only to see he's fallen asleep and
course.
reverted from the Grand Supreme Kai.
They
once
had to
more
nerf him
due to
somehow.
his recent battle on Namek. Eska inquires about
Tired.
Vegeta's whereabouts,
fighting.
and Goku replies that Vegeta is likely off training elsewhere, considering their usual tactics ineffective against Moro and exploring new strategies. Meanwhile, Vegeta, aboard a Galactic Patrol vessel, senses Moro heading in the opposite direction. Iriko informs him that it's Saganbo's ship, the fastest one he knows of. When Vegeta inquires
Nice.
about Saganbo, Iriko reminds him of the strongest fighter who stood with Moro. However, Vegeta dismisses Saganbo's strength, stating that without Moro's assistance, Saganbo couldn't even defeat his son, Trunks. Iriko reveals that it'll take 1 week to reach planet Yardrat and questions Vegeta about his purpose for going there. Vegeta
that's what I don't
explains that
get.
Yardratians possess unique techniques like instant transmission, which
Okay.
Goku learned, and hopes
Right.
to acquire a technique that might help him against Moro, although he does so reluctantly. In his
Wait,
room,
he's gonna try to
Vegeta
learn instant
vows that the
transmission?
Yeah,
next
it seems
time
like
he
it.
faces Moro, he'll defeat him and surpass Goku. Several days
Really?
later, Saganbo and his crew arrive at planet Zune, easily overpowering the planet's defenders who sought to protect their royal treasure. After seizing the treasure, one of the convicts 7-3 decides to finish off any remaining inhabitants by blasting them all away with I-beams unnecessarily, although Saganbo urges him to stop in order to leave as much energy for Moro as they can. The group return to the
Yeah,
ship,
Moro's gonna get
and
pissed.
Moro
Yeah.
absorbs the
It's wasted
planet's
energy.
life energy, destroying it and enhancing his power once more. Saganbo then receives a report from one of his scouts about a planet brimming with energetic monsters, prompting Moro
They're
and his
just
crew
going
to set a course for their
everywhere.
destination while they strip the planet of its treasure.
Shit's
Meanwhile,
crazy.
at Galactic Patrol HQ, news of Zune's devastation reaches them. Merus suspects Moro is going after planets beyond the Galactic Patrol's reach, and Goku fears that after just a few days, Moro's gotten even stronger than before. Merus mourns that their chances of defeating Moro are now exceedingly slim, but Goku
Jesus.
questions if Merus fighting would make a difference. Goku proposes a test and attempts to land a punch on Merus, but Merus
telling you, Merus
effortlessly
is cool.
evades him. Jocko attempts to
Excuse
halt
me?
the altercation, but Goku expresses his desire to gauge Merus' true power and
He's
invites
strong.
him to a sparring match in a specially reinforced training room. Goku continues
Okay.
his attempts to strike Merus, but is unable to connect.
What
he
the fuck?
escalates by transforming into a Super Saiyan, yet Merus dodges every blow. Goku
Huh?
switches to Super Saiyan 3, but his attacks still remain ineffective.
Damn!
It's
Who
only when
is
Goku
this?
becomes a Super Super Saiyan God that the room starts breaking apart, prompting the two to stop the test as further escalation would destroy the room.
No, keep
With
going.
Goku's suspicions confirmed, he surprises Merus by asking him to train him, as he believes Merus possesses knowledge he lacks. Goku reveals he aims to master a certain technique and believes training with Merus could help him get closer to achieving it. Merus agrees to Goku's proposal, but suggests a different location for their training. Meanwhile, on planet Jung, the
Merus, you
Macaroni
could
gang
hang with them like
successfully
that?
steals the blue aurum they previously attempted due to the Galactic Patrol being out of the picture. Pasta, who'd possessed fake loyalty to Moro, tells his brother Getty to call Saganbo with a false story about scouting for another planet for Moro's energy absorption. As they depart planet Jung, the gang contemplate their next target and recalls their encounter with the Galactic Patrol and Jocko mentioning the existence of Sky Gold on Earth. Pasta then hatches a plan and instructs his sister to head toward Earth to steal
my
as
God.
much as they can.
Oh my God, they're basically playing Moro in his face, and now they're going to Earth.
He's gonna kill them.
Yeah, the
He's
Z fighters.
gonna kill them.
The Z fighters got a lot of problems this arc.
At the same time, Vegeta finally arrives on planet Yardrat. Vegeta and Iriko touch down on Yardrat, much to the astonishment of the locals. Smaller, rounder Yardrats approach them, mistaking
Like little
Iriko
onions.
for Vegeta,
Literally.
whom Goku had previously informed them about. They express their gratitude to both Goku and Vegeta for defeating the Ginyu Force, who had caused trouble on their planet long ago. Vegeta inquires about the Yardrat who taught Goku instant transmission, and one of the Yardrats make the others disappear, revealing that he was alone all along. This Yardrat explains that they occasionally create copies of themselves to deter unwanted visitors, and then leads Vegeta to meet their elder. The elder, named Pabara, mistakenly believes Iriko is Vegeta and proceeds to converse with him.
This is
although
peak
he
Dragon
soon
Ball,
Yeah.
guys.
Vegeta clarifies the situation to Pibara, expressing his desire to defeat Moro and hoping to acquire a new technique. Pibara, however, informs Vegeta that Yardratians focus only on a single technique called spirit control, as they're a relatively weak race. They demonstrate some of these abilities, including instant transmission, multiform, and gigantification, which involves manipulating their own spirits to shift, split, and grow.
Is
The
Vegeta
elder
gonna
states
learn
that
that?
should Vegeta study how the spirit functions, he'll be able to do the same, and Vegeta expresses a desire
fire.
to learn spirit
That's fire.
control. A few
Okay,
days
Vegeta.
later, Goku
I
and
love
Merus
that.
embark
Really cool.
on training on another planet. Meanwhile, time passes at the Galactic Patrol HQ, and with Goku, Merus, and Vegeta absent, the Galactic King suggests recruiting new special members for the Galactic Patrol. He inquires with Jocko about Piccolo, the warrior from the Universe 6 tournament they'd attended in the past. At the lookout, Piccolo attempts telepathic
Good choice.
communication with someone on New Namek, unaware of the planet's destruction by Moro, but wary that something awful has happened. Meanwhile, the Macaroni gang arrives on Earth in search of Blue Aurum. Piccolo
God.
senses their approach and informs Dende. However, Piccolo doesn't seem worried, as he states their energy signatures are weak.
Piccolo's just
Moments
Yeah.
later in a rocky plain,
These
Piccolo
peons just
confronts
arrived.
the group as they're searching for a place to land. Noticing Piccolo, the gang use their ship's weapons to attack him, but he evades the gunfire and lands on top of their
tried
ship,
it.
admonishing them for their rudeness. Meanwhile, Bulma, accompanied by Hercule and Bulla, arrive at the lookout in search of Piccolo. Apparently, Jocko had called to inform her that he was on his way to Earth to recruit Piccolo into the Galactic Patrol. Back on the battlefield, Piccolo makes quick work of the Macaroni gang, surprising them as
they
they
didn't
had
stand a
no
chance.
idea someone this strong lived on Earth. After Jocko explains the situation via communicator at the lookout, he tells Bulma to gather Gohan, Krillin, and Tien in preparation for his arrival. He goes on to say that if Moro catches wind of Earth anytime soon, he'll make his way there to steal its energy. Meanwhile,
will.
Piccolo questions the now restrained Macaroni gang, suspecting their connection to the cosmic disturbances. The gang attempts to deceive Piccolo by pretending to be innocent travelers. However, they secretly plan to inform Moro about the Earth and the opportunity to steal Blue Aura. Convinced that they're not involved after all, Piccolo releases the group and warns them to never return to Earth again.
Piccolo, what the fuck, man? That's a mistake.
Come on.
Piccolo in a ship, with Dende urging Piccolo to capture the gang as they're allied with those causing trouble. Piccolo shoots down the Macaroni ship and captures them again, but he's informed that it's too late as the gang already alerted Moro's main forces.
Bro,
in space,
we're fucked, man. Earth is
receives a
gone.
distress signal from the Macaroni
I'm stressed.
gang, prompting Moro to dispatch a stronger scouting party to investigate. Meanwhile, Goku and Merus begin their training, with Merus wielding a staff and gaining the upper hand. Goku mentions that to acquire his desired ability, he needs to clear his mind and heart, but this proves challenging during their combat with his fluctuating emotions. Merus points out that emotions can also lead to power, such as Goku's Super Saiyan form fueled by rage. However, what Goku seeks requires the opposite, calmness. Merus reveals he knew about Goku's pursuit of Ultra Instinct, but kept it quiet. Goku however, reassures him and tells him it's fine, and suggests they resume training, surprising him. Merus, now resolved, leads Goku to the Galactic Patrol's hyperbolic time chamber, where every day inside equals to 3 days outside. They enter to allow Merus to unleash his full power without detection, and Merus questions if Goku is ready to continue their training, as Goku eagerly agrees.
This is giving like Dragon Ball Z.
Bulma briefs
It's back to
Krillin
peak
on the
writing,
current
1000%.
situation and inquires about the whereabouts of Gohan and Tien. Krillin informs her that Gohan is attending a college lecture and will join them later, and Tien doesn't have a cell phone, making him unreachable. The idea of contacting Yamcha is brought up, but before anyone can respond, Jocko arrives, expressing frustration about the lack of formidable warriors present. Eska, also aboard the ship, greets Dende. Jocko then informs Piccolo that he, Dende, and Eska are the 3 last surviving Namekians. Suddenly, Pasta, confined in a cage, voices his doubts about the group's chances against Moro. Jocko approaches and threatens him, warning that they'll soon return to prison. However, Pasta shocks Jocko by revealing that Moro's main force is on its way to Earth to rescue them. Simultaneously, a single ship carrying Shimareka, 7-3, and Yunba heads toward Earth. While discussing Earth's value, 7-3 states that it's in its development stage, based on outdated information from before they were incarcerated in the Galactic prison. With Yunba hungry, they decide to make a brief pit stop on a nearby planet. Back on Earth, the Galactic Patrol informs Jocko about the impending arrival of the 3 henchmen, particularly 7-3, whose name brings about fear in Jocko's expression. After sharing this vague information with the others, Jocko prepares to leave, but Bulma attempts
This is so cool because villains are basically broke out of jail, prison.
They need to know regarding the approaching henchmen, and Jocko agrees to provide some insight before
There's just a
departing.
bunch of chaos
Jocko
going on.
explains that while all 3 henchmen are formidable, 7-3 is the most concerning. Meanwhile, Shimareka and Yunba are on a planet, indulging in a feast, while 7-3 confronts the planet's inhabitants. He uses his power-absorbing ability to steal their abilities and swiftly incapacitates them.
Oh my god.
Jocko continues his explanation, stating that any ability 7-3 has stolen lasts for half an hour. He also reveals that 7-3 is an artificial being created by a technologically advanced planet, devoid of emotions and designed as a ruthless killing machine.
That's what we think science is.
Literally.
Krillin inquires about the convicts ETA to Earth, and the response from Jocko is 10 days. However, 7-3 along with Yunba and Shimareka suddenly appear at the lookout, surprising everyone as they were able to steal the abilities of a creature on the planet who could create warp portals.
You see, and it was
Shimareka then notices the Macaroni gang in their cage and informs them that Moro considers traitors leaders expendable. He moves to execute them, much to their shock, but is halted by Piccolo, who tells them that killing is prohibited at the sanctuary, where evildoers aren't welcome. However, 7-3 swiftly appears behind Piccolo, seizing him by the neck and copies his abilities. Piccolo manages to break free from 7-3's grasp and narrowly dodges
another fight at the lookout. We haven't had this since Boo.
By the artificial being. 7-3 follows up with a punch that extends toward Jocko, knocking him off the lookout. Piccolo races after Jocko, believing him unable to fly, with 7-3 and Shimareka in pursuit. Krillin attempts to assist, but is halted by Yunba, who plans to take him on. In free fall, Jocko activates the jet boosters in his boots, allowing him to land safely to Piccolo's surprise. Piccolo questions Jocko about the best way to fight 7-3, and Jocko explains that 7-3's copied attacks are as powerful as if they were executed by the original fighter, essentially like battling a mirror image of oneself.
But he does have to grab you by the neck
and
or
locks
whatever.
arms with Piccolo using his own extending
Just
technique,
stall for time.
30
land
minutes,
to meet each other with a headbutt. At the same time,
has a
Jocko
cool design,
engages Shimareka in combat as he stole his sidearm by surprise.
Ooh,
Despite sharing the same techniques and power, Piccolo seems to be at a disadvantage due to 7-3's limitless stamina, pointed out by Jocko, who'd previously forgot to mention it. At the lookout, Krillin faces difficulties against Yunba, and Hercule tries to assist him thanks to Bulma's
get him,
intervention.
champ.
However, before Hercule can react, Yunba leaps around the sanctuary and transforms into a ball and strikes
What the
Krillin,
fuck?
sending both of them
It's
crashing
Choji.
through the sanctuary. Bulma and the others board the ship to follow the combatants, and meanwhile, Piccolo and 7-3 engage in a special beam cannon clash, but Piccolo struggles due to his diminished energy. The Namekian is seemingly overwhelmed,
Chat,
and
we need
Jocko
Gohan.
fears that he may have been
Gohan in
obliterated.
college right now.
However, Piccolo
Oh,
is
there you go.
saved by Gohan, who suddenly arrived. Piccolo warns Gohan about 7-3's ability and informs him that in Goku and Vegeta's absence, he's Earth's strongest fighter. Meanwhile, on an uninhabited planet, Goku and Merus continue their training, though Goku encounters difficulties. Merus inquires if Ultra Instinct was initially triggered during an extreme crisis and suggests replicating those conditions. He states that Goku must be prepared to die during their training, and battered Goku stands, telling Merus to attack him with the intent to kill. Simultaneously, Vegeta is shown training on planet Yardrat, attempting to meditate on a narrow spike, but running out of patience. He questions Pibara on how much longer his training will take, and Pibara explains that Vegeta must achieve balance in body and mind,
Jiren,
as his
see?
spirit is less
like
stable than
meditating.
Goku's. One of the Yardrats tells Vegeta that Goku was able to meditate this long for 150 days, and Vegeta starts to regret his decision to come to Yardrat. Gohan lands a powerful punch to 7-3's midsection, sending him plummeting to the ground.
Oh, he's bodying him.
7-3 bounces back and retaliates quickly by using Piccolo's Hell Zone grenade technique. Gohan manages to escape the explosion and swiftly reappears behind his opponent, delivering a powerful
Was that a ki blast coming from his finger?
7-3. Piccolo joins Gohan,
flexing,
offering praise, but also expressing mixed feelings about seeing Gohan defeat a copy of him so easily, as he gives him new clothes and urges him to finish the job.
Oh, he's cooking.
That's my Gohan.
Not yet defeated, resorts to using the Great Namekian technique to grow to an enormous size. However, this transformation grants Gohan an advantage in terms of maneuverability, allowing him to evade all of 7-3's attacks and eventually sending him crashing to the ground.
Oh my God!
Shimareka and Yunba rush to 7-3's aid, with Shimareka urging his fallen comrade to copy Gohan's abilities at any cost. 7-3 rises to his feet and begins utilizing Piccolo's Demon Hand technique to extend his arms. Gohan evades the attacks while charging up an ultimate Kamehameha, flying in and out of the rocky terrain before preparing to unleash it directly
in his face.
Right on his face. However, Just as Gohan is about to release the Kamehameha, 7-3's 30-minute time limit for Piccolo's abilities expires. Jocko urges Gohan to fire the blast to finish him off while he has the chance. And as Gohan launches the blast, Shimareka commands 7-3 to utilize any stored abilities he has in stock. 7-3 then switches to Moro's abilities before the
What the
hell?
How?
A huge flash of light ensues, and as the effects dissipate, 7-3 is left unharmed, surprising Piccolo, who confirms that he was able to eat the Kamehameha.
How?
He used Moro's abilities.
That 7-3 can actually switch between copied abilities and can store up to 3 identities.
Bro, come on.
7-3 then raises his hand, and Jocko urgently instructs his companions to take him down
Get him
had it in
to
stock
prevent
in the
energy
tug.
absorption, similar to the technique Moro used on New Namek. Piccolo, Krillin, and
That
Jocko
was a good way to use your
7-3,
ability.
Jesus.
but their advance is
fucking
halted
cooking
by
right
an
now,
energy
man.
barrier rising from the earth, enveloping him. Gohan attempts to attack as well, but his efforts are halted too. Shimareka then contacts Saganbo to report the situation, and Moro was intrigued to learn that his abilities were already put to use, disliking the idea of it becoming a regular occurrence. Saganbo instructs Shimareka to switch to monitor mode, allowing those on the ship to observe the events on Earth. Back on Earth,
wanna
Gohan,
watch?
Piccolo, Krillin, and Jocko start feeling the effects of their energy being drained, although the energy isn't drawn from the Earth itself, as it's been reserved solely for Moro. As Moro observes, Saganbo states he's surprised to see that the planet harbors fighters more formidable than his own men. Shimareka and Yunba overwhelm the exhausted heroes,
Dude,
but
this
Piccolo
is
reminds
insane.
Shimareka not to get overconfident.
His damn
emphasizing
lackey
that
having
even
his
if they
ability.
fall, Goku and Vegeta will eventually return to avenge them. When Krillin reveals that Goku and Vegeta are training to defeat Moro, the information is transmitted to those aboard the ship. Saganbo suggests they should proceed to destroy Earth and orders his men to withdraw. However, Moro realizes that once Goku and Vegeta's training is complete, they'll possess even more energy for him to consume. Moro then tells
This is one thing about the villains. They want more power. They don't care if the
All
other
the time,
person's getting stronger.
Saganbo to inform his men to retreat from Earth, only to return once Goku and Vegeta arrive. The trio then cease their assault on the Z-Fighters and begin their departure, informing them that they'll return in Galactic Cycle 7, which translates to 20 Earth days. However, Jocko interjects, explaining that due to Earth's primitive technology, they won't be able to arrive until Galactic Cycle 8. Shimareka acknowledges this and states he'll relay the message to Moro, much to Jocko's relief. The trio then depart using 7-3's copied abilities, and Jocko informs Gohan, Piccolo, and Krillin that they have approximately 2 months until their return. Meanwhile, Merus receives information from the Galactic Patrol regarding Moro's impending arrival on Earth and relays the news to Goku. Given Goku and Merus' location, they're granted a 6-month window to train. Ready to resume their training, Goku notices that he's never seen Merus eat before. Merus explains that it makes no difference to him, which triggers Goku's recollection of Whis mentioning something similar in the past.
Interesting.
The two continue their training, and at the same time, at Zeno's palace, Whis uses his staff to monitor Goku and Merus. The Grand Priest joins him, and Whis apologizes for the disruption in his universe. He informs the Grand Priest that he's there to discuss the matters related to their angel laws, and the Grand Priest correctly deduces that his son refers to the situation with Merus. The Grand Priest informs Whis about his decision regarding Merus, the angel trainee he'd sent to Universe 7 to gain a broader perspective on the mortal world. Despite the
Hold on.
So Merus is an angel trainee?
I was gonna say he must be like Whis.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's how he knew about Ultra Instinct?
Yeah.
And he has white hair.
I should have known when
Right?
he said that he knew about Ultra
And he's
Instinct.
dodging everything that Goku is doing.
And
Literally.
why did we
every
put
hit.
2 and 2 together?
I'm like, dog, what?
I just put it together right now when he was like,
oh
he doesn't
my
eat.
God. Yeah. And the
Whis
thing
his
is,
little brother.
and the thing is, he's hiding in the damn Galactic Patrol. What the fuck?
But why?
He's an angel in training. That isn't holy lore
it's
drop.
Whis' little brother.
Yep. Wow, dude. This is peak. This is cinema right here. Yep.
Do you wanna...
Must remain impartial though. Merus joins him, and Whis apologizes for the disruption in his universe. He informs the Grand Priest that he's there to discuss the matters related to their angel laws, and the Grand Priest correctly deduces that his son refers to the situation with Merus. The Grand Priest informs Whis about his decision regarding Merus, the angel trainee he'd sent to Universe 7 to gain a broader perspective on the mortal world. Despite the rule that angels must remain impartial though, Merus joined the Galactic Patrol and developed a strong sense of right and wrong. The Grand Priest has decided it's time to recall Merus, but Whis requests permission to handle Merus in his own way. Whis reminds his father that Merus had only used mortal weapons in battle and was training Goku, similar to what Whis himself has done in the past. The Grand Priest ultimately accepts Whis' proposal, but urges him to keep a close eye on Merus as he doesn't wish to lose an angel. On planet Yardrat, Iriko struggles to establish contact with Galactic Patrol HQ. Suddenly, he becomes aware of one of Moro's spaceships arriving to scout the planet for a potential energy source. Meanwhile, Vegeta continues his training under the guidance of Elder Pibara. By this time, Vegeta has honed his spirit to a greater extent than Goku did, and when Pibara heals Vegeta's injuries, he expresses a desire to learn such a technique. However, Pibara explains that it's too advanced for him at the moment and suggests focusing on learning a more basic technique, instant transmission. Suddenly, an explosion occurs in the distance. Iriko flies in and alerts Vegeta about Saganbo's men arriving, and Vegeta prepares to rush back to the city, although he's warned by Pibara to be mindful about how he wields his power as he's still in training. Confused, Vegeta takes off to a nearby city on Yardrat, encountering Yuzin and 2 other henchmen. Yuzin berates Vegeta and attempts to contact Moro, but Vegeta surprises everyone by unleashing a remarkably powerful blast from his fingertip by mistake, hitting Yuzin head on. Pibara arrives and tells Vegeta to stop wrecking his planet, but then reveals that the Saiyan's newfound strength is a result of his balanced body and spirit, which he achieved during his training.
There you go.
His comrades to attack Vegeta, but Vegeta easily defeats them. Infuriated, Yuzin then transforms into a more formidable, monstrous form, but this doesn't phase Vegeta, who's seen many like him before, and dominates the battle. Securing victory, Vegeta tells Yuzin to surrender and return to the Galactic prison, otherwise he'll have to kill him. Yuzin, however, refuses, telling Vegeta that he'll soon be sorry, as Moro's next target is a planet called Earth. This shocks Vegeta, and Yuzin taunts him as his henchmen stealthily prepare their getaway. Yuzin tries to make a hasty escape in his spaceship, but before Vegeta can shoot it down, a deflected and hardened building from their earlier battle returns and destroys Yuzin's spaceship, killing him and his comrades. With his enhanced senses, Vegeta can sense that Earth hasn't been invaded yet. However, with time running short, he tells Pibara to teach him a technique that can be used against Moro, and Pibara agrees. Meanwhile, Moro senses Vegeta's energy on Yardrat and comments on how much stronger he's become. During the next 2 months, Moro continues his planet-devouring rampage across Universe 7, while Goku and Vegeta make significant progress in their training. As the deadline approaches, Merus queries Goku for one final sparring session before returning to Earth. They decide not to hold back and begin powering up, but suddenly find themselves outside with Whis nearby. Goku is surprised to learn that Merus is Whis' younger brother and an angel, and Whis scolds Merus for his plan to use his full strength in battle and travel to Earth to confront Moro. Goku questions what would happen if an angel fought, and Whis explains that angels who violate their code are erased from existence without a trace. Whis informs Merus that his time in the mortal realm is over, and with a tap on his staff, reveals Merus' angelic clothing and halo. Merus apologizes
I wonder how many more of these there are in every different universe.
Huh?
They're
just hidden.
Goku for not being able to see the task to the end, but expresses confidence in his ability to defeat Moro. Merus and Whis then depart for the angel world, and left alone,
no wonder
Goku
Moro couldn't
realizes
fuck
he
with him
needs
at
to
all.
return to Earth, but finds himself with a galactic patrol ship that he has no idea how to operate. Meanwhile, Jocko, accompanied by several other members of the Galactic Patrol, arrive on Earth in anticipation for Moro's impending attack. They join Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin,
they all have the symbol on
Yamcha,
They all have
Chaozu,
the
and
symbol
Master
on them.
Roshi. Yamcha
That's
is
cool.
eager for a chance to shine.
Yamcha's
Chaozu
back.
is uneasy due to his long absence from combat, and Krillin inquires about the whereabouts of Goku and Vegeta. Jocko informs Krillin that he's alerted Goku.
Oh my god,
but
he
has
got
no
everyone
Look
back
at
together.
Master Roshi,
Vegeta's
look.
location, confident that both will arrive eventually. At the lookout, Boo is returned to Earth by another Galactic Patrol member, and suddenly, Dende and Mr. Popo spot Saganbo's spaceship entering Earth's atmosphere. Multiple smaller ships emerge from the main vessel and disperse across Earth, opening fire on high-value structures. The pilots disembark from their aircrafts with intentions on claiming the treasures within these structures for themselves, and the Earthlings attempt to defend themselves. Recognizing the situation, Master Roshi proposes that the group split up, while Gohan and Piccolo deal with the main threat. Krillin and Master Roshi come across Yunba first. As they confront Yunba, Krillin launches an attack, but Yunba blocks it and recognizes him. Krillin asserts that he's trained for 2 months to prepare, and Yunba prepares to settle things as a trio of female convicts accompanying him, who Master Roshi
crazy.
notices,
I like the whole idea of like
to
convicts
target other locations on Earth.
Dude,
to
Roshi's gonna have a hard
incite
time
chaos.
against this.
Krillin attempts to warn Master Roshi about Yunba's deceptive speed, but Master Roshi is more interested in the women and pursues them instead. Leaving Krillin dumbfounded, Yunba takes the opportunity to land a powerful blow to his face, sending him crashing into a nearby structure.
Damn.
Meanwhile, Gohan and Piccolo face Shimareka, who's joined by 7-3. 7-3, camouflaged, suddenly appears behind them and grabs both Gohan and Piccolo by their necks, copying their abilities. Jocko reprimands Gohan and Piccolo for letting their guard down, and Shimareka taunts them, claiming their training was in vain. 7-3 fires a special beam cannon,
30 minutes.
but Gohan creates an energy shield to block it. Piccolo powers up and fires a special beam cannon of his own at 7-3, overpowering his enemy's blast and catching the attention of the Z fighters across the globe as he severely damages 7-3's upper body and left arm.
But he does have
exactly, that's what I was gonna say.
But Gohan and Piccolo don't seem worried, as they were ready for their abilities to be copied. Believing the two to be bluffing, Shimareka advises 7-3 to switch to Gohan's abilities, since he's the strongest between the two. 7-3 then fires a volley of energy shots at them. Gohan uses Piccolo's energy shots as footholds to approach quickly.
Oh, that's
and delivers
cool.
a punch that sends 7-3
He's riding it like a
to
skateboard.
Jocko commends their teamwork, acknowledging that 7-3 can't evade their combined attacks. Elsewhere, Yamcha engages three of Moro's henchmen in battle within a city and gains the upper hand. One of the henchmen is surprised because Yamcha appeared weak, but Yamcha corrects him, asserting himself as one of the 3 strongest Earthlings.
Okay, is that true though?
Yamcha prevails and instructs
he's
the
killing it
Galactic
right now.
Patrol members to apprehend the defeated henchmen. He then sends
They gave
his more
Yamcha a
convicts
W?
and heads off as the Galactic Patrol
Yamcha redemption?
follows. Back on the main battlefield, Gohan and Piccolo execute the Masenko beam cannon, a combination of the Masenko and special beam cannon techniques, further damaging 7-3. However, it's not enough to defeat him. Shimareka instructs 7-3 to switch to Moro's abilities to drain their energy, but to their surprise, androids 17 and 18 suddenly arrive.
Oh shit! Everyone's back.
17 questions their
Oh
enemy's
my God.
strength and ponders if Piccolo really needs them, but Piccolo explains that 17 and 18 are the only ones who can finish the battle, as they don't have
They
ki
can't
that
get
can
like
be absorbed.
absorbed.
Right.
Spaceship,
The
Moro
MVP
berates
showed up.
him for failing
Damn.
to meet even his lowest expectations of them. When Saganbo inquires about their next move, Moro assures him not to worry and announces his intention to personally handle the situation. Meanwhile, on planet Yardrat, Vegeta continues his training under Pibara's guidance. Pibara senses the disturbance in Earth's spirit, but Vegeta is intent to focus on mastering his new technique. Vegeta mentions that he still has time, as Moro hasn't entered the battle himself yet, and in another part of Universe 7, Goku stops on a planet to ask the locals for directions to Earth. Elsewhere in deep space,
There's
Frieza
Frieza.
also
Look at
sits in
Frieza.
orbit with his crew, originally poised to set a course for Earth, but deciding to move on, as tangling with galactic prisoners
Smart.
right now would be troublesome for him. Back at the lookout, Bulma finishes configuring
Once Frieza
monitors
made his
linked
cameo,
to
I was
drones,
wondering when
providing
he was gonna
Chi-Chi
show
and
up.
the
Yeah.
others with a view of the ongoing
I like
battles on the
Pilaf.
ground. Krillin remains engaged in his fight with Yunba, launching a Destructo Disc Hexa Blade, but Yunba deflects them with his extreme speed body rotation. Landing several strong blows,
Dang,
Yunba sends Krillin crashing to the ground. However, Krillin quickly recovers and resumes the attack, sending one of the discs hurtling back and narrowly cutting Yunba.
Good
In a
stuff.
clever
There we go.
move, Krillin uses his after image technique to deceive Yunba with incoming Destructo discs. He appears behind Yunba and unleashes a powerful Kamehameha that sends him crashing to the ground below.
Wasn't ready for that
knocking
one,
him
huh?
out and securing victory.
Krillin
The
going
Galactic
crazy.
Patrol take charge,
the
preparing
Z
to
fighters are
escort
cooking.
Yunba back to
Yeah.
the Galactic
They're all
prison.
cooking.
Really
Krillin then
is like
rushes
Dragon
over to
Ball
Master
Z.
Roshi, who is punched ferociously from the forest and lies on the ground. Roshi assures Krillin that he's alright, but shares a humorous incident about the convicts he's confronted, mentioning that
Won't
they
even
won't
let
let
me
him
rope
rope them before correcting himself, stating that his attacks won't land. The three female convicts, Misa, Iwaza, and Kikaza, arrive, vowing to get revenge. Krillin notices that the convicts possess powerful energy, but suggests Roshi use the same power he displayed against Jiren during the Tournament of Power to defeat them.
Right.
However, Roshi explains that he can't do it without a clear mind, humorously realizing that his mind is currently clouded with wicked
Oh, God.
thoughts. Elsewhere,
He got Gooner
Tien and
thoughts in his
Chaozu
head.
battle Koiter, but Tien's physical attacks prove ineffective due to Koiter's hard Metal Man exterior. Chaozu recalls Vegeta's strategy against Vegeta in the Universe 6 tournament and advises Tien to insult Koiter, surprising him. Struggling to come up with an insult, Koiter advances towards Tien. However,
Looks like the
Chaozu
same
distracts
machine that
the
was in
Metal
Tournament
Man
of Power.
well enough to come up with an effective insult,
Well,
leading
then, yeah,
him to
look.
collapse.
Oh, it's the same
Yeah,
one.
it's
At the
same
other
type of
battle,
thing,
Master
like the
Roshi
insult
wears a
hurt them.
bandana to cover his eyes, allowing him to dodge the
That's smart.
convicts' attacks skillfully.
Good fighting
He
there.
urges
Okay,
the
good
girls
technique.
to abandon their evil ways and return to the Galactic prison, but they
He looks
refuse
badass like that.
and
Yeah.
instead decide to
blindfold
employ
on.
their last resort, fusion into a larger, unattractive form. This
Oh,
form
God.
is a powerful blow, sending
Okay, he
both
can take the
Krillin and
blindfold off.
Roshi flying.
gonna be
Meanwhile, at the
disgusted.
lookout, the group watches the battle, and Puar notices Yamcha struggling as well. Suddenly, Eska notices Saganbo's spaceship as it begins to descend to the ground. Android 18 continues to dominate Shimareka, while Android 17 comes close to defeating 7-3. However, Moro, surprising the group with his presence, arrives to grab 7-3 by the head, chastising him for using his abilities too
Oh,
freely.
man.
Moro instructs Shimareka to help him recover back at the spaceship, as he plans to use his power again at some point. The two take off. Saganbo joins Moro, and Piccolo and Gohan acknowledge Moro's immense power. With Goku and Vegeta missing, Gohan affirms their role in protecting Earth until they arrive. Moro, however, states he's in high spirits and explains that Earth is brimming with energy to steal, as he considers how to consume everyone.
I think the androids can fight against him, though.
The Z-Fighters, dissatisfied with his crew's performance, and Moro agrees as long as he keeps them alive.
Other Z-Fighters,
before entering the battle, Moro energizes Saganbo significantly with just a hint of his power, and his physique grows before everyone's eyes.
Oh shit.
At Moro's command, Saganbo rushes in, first attacking Android 17, overpowering him. When the others attempt to support 17, Saganbo easily dominates them, slamming Gohan and 17
how much power he gave him.
first into the ground. Meanwhile, Tien and Chaozu, victorious over Koiter, encounter Yamcha, who's losing his battle against Zoyogi, revealed to be the staff officer of the Galactic Bandit Brigade. Krillin and Roshi hide from the fused female convict, but despite the odds, Krillin decides to go down fighting, hoping that Goku will be able to notice his last burst of power. In space, Goku en route to Earth senses the ongoing battles, but is unable to lock onto anyone's energy as it's depleting by the second. However, Krillin unleashes a burst of energy, alerting Goku of his position on Earth as he uses instant transmission to teleport there. Goku swiftly defeats the overweight convict who is about to attack Krillin and apologizes for not arriving sooner. The fusion of the three convicts dissolves, and Goku inquires where everyone else is. Krillin tells Goku they're all fighting around the globe and explains he should check on them to see if they need help. Goku agrees, but before taking off, Krillin inquires if Goku is strong enough to defeat Moro now. Goku says he believes so, and when Krillin questions if he's worried about Moro's power, Goku reveals that he's actually thrilled. He then teleports to Tien, Yamcha, and Chaozu, who are struggling in their battle against Zoyogi. Goku swiftly incapacitates Zoyogi with a gut punch, and Yamcha and Tien marvel at Goku's power.
This reminds me of Namek when Goku came in and just beat the Ginyu Force by himself.
Yamcha informs Goku that Gohan and the others require his assistance. Goku then tosses Zoyogi off to Yamcha and teleports away once more. In the ongoing battle with the empowered Saganbo, only Gohan and Piccolo remain engaged, as androids 17, 18, and Jocko have retreated to the sidelines. Gohan and Piccolo combine their strength to fire a powerful blast at Saganbo, which Jocko believes will destroy the Earth if they continue. However, the attack proves ineffective, and Saganbo easily knocks Gohan and Piccolo aside with a single punch. 17 states Saganbo might be more than the group can handle, and as he advances toward a downed Gohan and Piccolo, Jocko questions Saganbo's loyalty to Moro. Saganbo explains that Moro saved the prisoners from the Galactic prison and granted them power to ensure they would never be captured again. This prompts Jocko to insult Saganbo, stating that he's more pathetic than before, angering him. As Saganbo advances toward Jocko to end him, a presence appears and attacks Saganbo, much to the surprise of everyone on the battlefield. The relentless attacks on Saganbo ensue, followed by a devastating gut punch that leaves him reeling. Moro watches from the distance, and suddenly, Gohan announces that his dad has made it at last, prompting Piccolo to state that he can't see
the
him
training he did.
his energy. Jocko cuts in, stating he in fact can see Goku as he's moving at light speed, surprising Piccolo. Moro continues watching intently, realizing that the one called son Goku has indeed arrived and tells him to reveal himself. Goku then sends Saganbo flying toward Moro, and Moro swats him aside with a flick of his finger. Goku appears behind Moro, stating that he'd hoped to take him out just as easily as he did Saganbo, and Moro recognizes Goku's significant increase in strength since their last encounter. However, Saganbo rises again, offering to continue fighting for his master, to which Moro signals for Goku to finish his fight. Goku teleports in front of Gohan and Piccolo and apologizes to Gohan for forcing him to fight again, although Gohan Gohan states he's the one who's sorry for being unable to protect the Earth. Goku instructs his son and Piccolo to step aside and let him handle Saganbo, and the two move to the sidelines. Goku then powers up to Super Saiyan 1 as Saganbo rushes toward him. Goku easily overpowers Saganbo and sends him crashing to the ground, challenging Moro as he believes the battle to be over. However, Saganbo rises again, this time appearing berserk and stronger than before, as Moro pumps him with more of his power. Goku demands Moro to stop as Saganbo's body has hit its limit, and suddenly Saganbo charges at Goku again, although his attack is blocked by the Saiyan, who urges him to stop fighting. As Saganbo continues his assault, Moro tells Goku to show him the technique he used when he arrived, as Super Saiyan Blue won't be enough to defeat him. As an added incentive, Moro continues pumping Saganbo with more energy, visibly damaging his body and angering Goku, who materializes behind Moro to attack, although his punch is blocked. Still wanting to fight, Saganbo speaks to Moro to allow him the pleasure of defeating Goku, but before he can finish his sentence, his body fails on him and he collapses lifeless, as Moro mocks him for not being able to handle such a small portion of energy. Outraged by Saganbo's death, Goku vows to defeat Moro using the power he's gained and unveils his new technique, Ultra Instinct Sign, a move recognized by Moro as divine power. As Goku demonstrates he's able to activate Ultra Instinct Sign at will. Moro expresses his astonishment at a mortal mastering such a divine technique, and both Goku and Moro prepare for their impending battle. Goku unleashes a rapid flurry of punches with incredible force, creating air bursts that Moro tries to defend against. Moro retaliates by detonating the ground below Goku and firing small energy blasts as he takes off into the air, but Goku launches a close quarters assault with his fluid and agile movements. Moro appears to be on the edge following the relentless assault, and swiftly employs his magic to briefly immobilize Goku, demonstrating one of his many techniques. He knocks the Saiyan toward a rock formation below, but Goku manages to break free of Moro's magic and teleports behind him. Meanwhile, on planet Yardrat, Vegeta senses the intensifying battle between Goku and Moro. As the battle escalates, with Moro emitting streams of lightning from his body to pursue Goku, Goku tells Gohan and Piccolo to step back. They inform him that they've already gathered the Earth's Dragon Balls to reverse the death and destruction caused by Moro, and they retreat to let Goku focus. Goku closes in on Moro, evading energy blasts along the way and charging up.
He's doing the running Kamehameha.
However, he suddenly redirects the attack, catching Moro off guard, as the other Moro was just an illusion. The two engage in a fierce aerial brawl, with Goku initially having the upper hand. Moro uses his magic to draw Goku closer, and Goku attempts to land swift mid-air blasts until he reaches Moro, where they exchange simultaneous blows to their midsections. Nearby, Gohan, Jocko, 17, and 18 observe the battle and discuss the apparent equality between Goku and Moro. Piccolo points out that Goku is faster, but notes that Moro has yet to utilize his energy-absorbing abilities. Just then, Moro attempts to absorb energy, but Goku's lightning-quick reflexes allow him to avoid it and land a grazing blow on Moro's cheek. Moro realizes Goku's strategy, and Goku's friends become increasingly optimistic about his chances of winning as he gains the upper hand, pushing Moro back with his relentless assault. On Beerus's planet, Beerus and the Oracle Fish continue to fish, while Whis and Merus watch the ongoing battle through the Angel Attendant staff. Whis commends Merus for Goku's improved performance due to his training, and he questions if Goku has mastered Ultra Instinct and whether he will attain the silver-haired state. However, Merus remains cautious in his response. Back on Earth, after Moro employs another one of his magical abilities, he criticizes Goku for rushing the battle, stating that he's made a grave error. Moro reveals that he can tap into an enormous reservoir of energy he gained by consuming countless planets since their previous encounter on New Namek, and states that he'll happily devour Goku's energy once he's been defeated, confusing Goku. Moro calls Goku a fool and instantly powers up, surprising everyone as he's been holding back his true power, the power that he now states has transcended the gods. Moro gains the upper hand over Goku,
he's like a god
who falls out of the Ultra Instinct state. Moro deduces that Goku avoided using the form for an extended period because he couldn't maintain it for long. Merus informs Whis that Goku only achieved the Ultra Instinct Sign state and never reached the Mastered state. Whis expresses disappointment as the Sign state is unstable and rapidly consumes energy. Merus stresses that the battle now hinges on Goku's ability to manage the energy drain and maintain the form as long as possible. Moro taunts Goku for his weakening state, and Goku acknowledges his limitations, but suggests that Moro must have been stalling for time as well, implying that Moro can't defeat him at full power. Goku then reactivates his Ultra Instinct sign and readies himself for round 2. Both Goku
I love
and
that he
Moro
could
make a
activate
bold
it on the
decision
fly.
to unleash their full power, causing their auras to clash with incredible intensity. In this intense struggle, Goku eventually gains the upper hand and pushes Moro back. Their battle transitions into close quarters combat with a flurry of ki blast exchange between them, followed by more intense attacks. Goku appears to gain an upper hand on Moro, landing a solid blow to his face, along with a devastating assault that sends him hurtling to the ground. However, Moro rises, stating that he approached Goku too cautiously, and that if this is the full extent of his power, there's no way he'll be defeated. As Merus and Whis observe the battle from Beerus's planet, Merus expresses concerns about Moro's strength, stating that it once again exceeded his expectations. Whis explains that Goku likely sensed the same, since his strategy for unleashing his full power was executed. Whis goes on to say that Saiyans are known to exhibit untold power when their backs are against the wall, and we cut to planet Yardrat, where Pabara commends Vegeta for quickly mastering his new technique. Vegeta requests to be teleported to Earth, but he learns that Yardratians are prohibited from using teleportation to travel off-world. Additionally, Pabara can't sense Goku's energy, prompting Vegeta to correctly deduce it's because Goku's using Ultra Instinct, a form only perceivable by gods. Determined to reach Earth, Vegeta demands to be taught instant transmission, believing that he can master it swiftly. Back on Earth, the tide of the battle shifts significantly in Moro's favor as Goku succumbs to exhaustion.
At it right now.
Moro expresses his amazement at Goku's newfound power, but asserts that Goku has reached his limit. Refusing to yield, Goku strains to maintain his Ultra Instinct sign form, but Moro effortlessly incapacitates him. Merus is troubled by this outcome, while Beerus nonchalantly mentions his hunger to Whis. Whis interrupts the feed to Earth's battle, signaling his intention to leave and stating that Earth is beyond salvation. Merus is worried that Universe 7 will face destruction if Moro prevails, but Whis reminds him that only gods of destruction and supreme Kais are permitted to interfere, adhering to the natural order of the universe. Goku, now completely defeated and returned to his base form, is on the brink of energy depletion when Android 17 and 18 intervene. They declare that they don't have energy for Moro to absorb, and Moro is surprised to learn that Earth possesses such advanced technology.
The MVP gotta come in again to save the day.
Transmission fails and materializes into a nearby garbage can and attempts again, this time realizing that Goku's spirit has suddenly appeared again and correctly assumes he's been defeated. To save time, Pabara offers to break his planet's rules to take Vegeta to Earth, but Vegeta declines his offer, opting to pull off the move himself. Pabara restores Vegeta's original battle gear. As the Saiyan Prince focuses, he successfully performs instant transmission.
Vegeta has instant transmission. That's so
efforts to confront Moro are futile.
And hopefully he learns how to do like a
Gohan questions Piccolo on if they should help, but Piccolo rejects it as it would expose them to having their energy absorbed, further empowering Moro.
Took him long enough to get that ability.
Helpless and injured, Vegeta suddenly appears in front of him, surprising Goku to learn that Vegeta performed instant transmission. However, Vegeta clarifies that it was likely a one-time feat and that he has no intention of learning it further, having now acquired a superior technique. A confident Vegeta then tells 17 and 18 to stop fighting and declares his intention to defeat Moro, who's pleased to see Vegeta has finally arrived. After a few insults and banter between the two, Vegeta states that Moro finally found someone stronger than him, transforming into his evolved Super Saiyan Blue form and charging forward. Vegeta delivers a powerful punch that sends Moro skidding backward, his face contorted in pain. However, Moro quickly regains his composure, acknowledging Vegeta's increased strength. Despite this, Moro maintains his confidence, believing that Vegeta is still no match for him. Undaunted, Vegeta charges forward again, launching a rapid series of blows. Piccolo admires Vegeta's enhanced power, but recognizes that he's still not as strong as Moro. Moro stops Vegeta's attacks and kicks him into a cliffside, but Vegeta swiftly returns to the fray, annoying Moro. Gohan wonders what's gotten into Vegeta, but Piccolo asserts that Vegeta's never been one to misread an opponent's strength, and that he must have some sort of plan. When Moro attempts to drain Vegeta's energy, Vegeta evades and counters with a backhand to the face, followed by a few kicks to the midsection. Feeling a bit overwhelmed, Moro seizes Vegeta and drives him into the ground, gasping for breath, and soon notices that something's amiss. To everyone's surprise, Vegeta rises and gains the upper hand in battle, his strategy gradually overpowering Moro as bits of energy appear to be leaving his body. Goku discerns Vegeta's technique, and the Saiyan Prince identifies it as forced spirit fission. From a distance, Gohan wonders if Vegeta is becoming stronger, but Piccolo believes that Moro Moro is in fact growing weaker. They observe Moro's energy leaving his body and coalescing into a radiant sphere in the sky. After being dealt another powerful blow, Moro stands up, now appearing elderly, and inquires about what Vegeta has done to him. Vegeta explains that he's liberated all of the energy that Moro stole from the planets and their inhabitants, and with a simple gesture, Vegeta restores the energy to its rightful places, catching.
You know what?
God, Vegeta.
Y'all, they giving Vegeta the W.
Oh my God.
I love it.
And it's something that Goku doesn't know.
Yup.
The attention of the onlookers at the lookout.
That's
Goku
amazing.
informs Piccolo and Gohan about
He deserves a
Spirit
W.
Vision,
Yeah,
a technique that disentangles entities that fused or have absorbed power. While relentlessly pummeling Moro, Vegeta suggests that he could even use the technique on Piccolo to extract the Namekian's Kami and Nail he had previously fused with. Goku commends Vegeta on his ability to use the technique, and Vegeta confidently declares himself more talented than Goku and says that victory is his for this battle. Growing increasingly irate, Moro
I love that.
Vegeta continues to outmatch him, liberating more energy that he's stolen. Mid-battle, Vegeta expresses his disdain for fusion and absorption as they don't reflect one's true strength. He admonishes Moro to fight using his intrinsic power and kicks him away, mocking him as he stands injured. Elsewhere on planet Yardrat, Pibara clarifies that Vegeta's actions will not resurrect the deceased inhabitants of the planets being restored due to too much time having gone by. However, those with strong life forces will be revived. On New Namek, the Namekians previously drained by Moro's energy are brought back to life. At the lookout, Eska senses these events and believes that the Namekian Dragon Balls left behind have safeguarded the planet and its inhabitants from destruction. As Vegeta continues battling Moro, Piccolo expresses astonishment at Vegeta's transformation, not only in terms of his physical strength, but also as a person. Piccolo recalls Vegeta's history as a villain, including his role in invading Earth with Nappa and his past crimes under Frieza. He recognizes that Vegeta has evolved to the point where he now fights to save not only his home planet, but also the universe from Moro. Piccolo credits his transformation to Goku and adds that Vegeta has finally managed to surpass him. Goku vows to exceed Vegeta once more, and believing the battle to be nearly over, Vegeta inquires if Jocko prefers Moro to be captured or killed, prompting Jocko to opt for a swift execution. Vegeta declares his intention to send Moro to hell, but Moro arrogantly proclaims he won't go there. Instead, he'll rule the galaxy for eternity. Despite his dwindling power, Moro asserts that he still possesses his magic. He distracts Vegeta by generating a wave of the planet's energy from beneath him, exploiting the momentary surprise to take off into the air. Vegeta takes off in pursuit, but he arrives too late. Moro reaches Saganbo's spaceship ahead of him, where he promptly eliminates Shimareka without hesitation. Afterward, Moro seizes 7-3, having retained a backup of himself within him. Vegeta, having reached the top of the spaceship,
he kept a save file in him.
Swallows 7-3 whole and then
holy
shit to stop him, destroying Saganbo's spaceship with a massive explosion. When the smoke dissipates, Vegeta is shocked by what he sees. On the ground below, Goku observes that Moro's power has surged to unprecedented levels.
Y'all can't give Vegeta the W. What the fuck did y'all do?
That's what I was gonna. That's why I don't even get that excited because I'm like they're gonna break my heart.
A new appearance that's part Moro and part 7-3.
What?
Goku and Piccolo question
like
Moro about
7-3
his
now.
transformation, and Moro discloses that he not only had 7-3 replicate his magical abilities, but also his combat skills. This created a full backup of himself inside 7-3 that he could utilize at any time. With the absorption of 7-3, Moro now possesses access to his unique capabilities, boasting that it's elevated his power to previously unimaginable heights. He then mockingly congratulates the Dragon Team for pushing him this far before warning them to prepare for their
I didn't think he was gonna get another form.
Suddenly, Vegeta makes a triumphant return in his Super Saiyan Blue Evolved form, declaring to defeat Moro once again. As Vegeta charges ahead, Moro adeptly evades his attacks, stating how Vegeta can't use Force Spirit Fission without inflicting damage, something he won't allow to happen again. Gohan and Piccolo attempt to inform Vegeta that Moro's newfound powers are temporary and will return to their original state in 30 minutes. However, Moro Moro discloses that the power has returned to its source, negating any time limit.
Bro,
He seizes
it's
Vegeta
so-
by the neck and copies his abilities. Moro pummels Vegeta and sends him crashing to the ground, feeling the effects of the assault. Moro then concludes with Vegeta's signature Big Bang attack to finish him off, creating a gigantic
can't believe it,
explosion
dude.
and leaving Vegeta incapacitated in his base form as he mocks his techniques.
They always do
the
this
situation
shit.
escalates as Piccolo reminds
Fuck
Goku
Moro.
of their past reliance
All my
on the
homies hate
fusion
Moro.
games and Patora fusion as a last resort, but he states that it's no longer viable now that Moro has acquired Force Spirit Fission. Meanwhile, at the lookout, everyone observes the dire circumstances. Dende decides to descend to the battlefield to use his healing powers to save everyone, despite Bulma's frantic warning that his choice could destroy the
said I was
Dragon
gonna
Balls if
hate
he perishes.
Moro?
On
You're
the
right.
ground, Krillin rushes to the scene with a bag of sensu beans, regretting not giving some to
They coulda
Goku
just gave
earlier.
Vegeta this
Gohan
W.
and
I
Piccolo
Literally.
launch a
mad.
synchronized
Literally.
attack against Moro, but they're vastly
Deserved it.
outmatched. Piccolo manages to hold Moro in place, giving Gohan an opportunity
Let's
to
go, Gohan.
ensnare him using Gotenks' Galactic Donut.
And he doesn't
technique.
have beast
Goku,
form, right?
now
So
powered
this
up
is
to
before,
perfected Super Saiyan Blue, unleashes
superhero.
the instant Kamehameha, struggling to unleash its
Oh, it's
full
before?
impact
Yeah.
as Moro effortlessly halts the blast. Goku continues the attack at full power, triggering a massive explosion that covers the battlefield. The smoke dissipates, and the group see that Goku's only managed to destroy Moro's left arm. To everyone's shock, Moro's arm swiftly regenerates, and he impales Goku through
Oh,
the demonstrating
shit,
his
what a
access to
panel,
Piccolo's
what the
regeneration
fuck?
through 7-3's previously copied abilities. As Goku falls to the ground, mortally wounded, Moro attempts to steal his
This shit's
energy,
crazy.
but Gohan snaps and attacks Moro, though he's unable to make him flinch before he's ferociously punched in the face, resulting in the loss of several teeth. As Moro remarks
What?
on Saiyan's ability to receive a power boost when enraged, Dende telepathically communicates his plan to Piccolo. However, Moro hears the conversation, halting his finishing blow to Gohan and creating a barrier that prevents anyone from entering or escaping. Shortly
Great.
after,
just negated
Dende
This
the
is
is
just-
unable to assist in the final battle.
negated
Moro knocks
Dende.
away Piccolo and Jocko and swiftly takes down Android 17 and
Fam.
18 with death beams. In
Fam,
a
what?
last-ditch effort, after apologizing to Jocko
Oh my
for
God.
roping him into Earth's battles, Piccolo prepares an all-or-nothing light grenade using the barrier to his advantage. However, before he can unleash it, Moro hits him with a special
What is
beam
going
cannon,
on?
incapacitating him. In the aftermath, Jocko stands alone as the only remaining fighter,
he
while the rest of
messed
the
up
team
all
has
of
been
them.
rendered
They're all
immobile.
dead.
As Dende apologizes to everyone for his inability to protect the Earth, he unexpectedly slips through a small breach in Moro's barrier, created by a guide angel that he immediately recognizes. Inside the barrier, Moro approaches Jocko, declaring his energy of little use and promising a swift death
Oh my
before killing everyone on Earth. A
Jocko.
terrified Jocko fires his ray gun, but a second shot suddenly appears, causing a much larger explosion. As the smoke dissipates, Moro, on
that?
guard, realizes that
Please?
someone else is interfering, and before Jocko's eyes, a confident
Merus.
Merus stands before him, ready for
Holy
battle.
shit.
Jocko expresses relief at Merus' arrival, inquiring what took him so long. Jocko explains that Moro's gotten way too powerful for anyone to handle, but Merus clarifies that he's come to conclude Goku's training. Moro, inside the barrier, observes that the fallen Dragon Team members are no longer present, surmising that Merus has transported them to a safe and distant location.
Oh.
With a simple gesture, Moro dispels the barrier, and realizing he needs to buy time for Goku and his comrades, Merus engages Moro, using a pole as his weapon. Moro,
Right.
unable to sense Merus' life energy as before, questions if he's some sort of deity. Merus, choosing not to respond, presses on with his agile and reflexive attacks, keeping Moro on the defensive. Elsewhere, Dende stands over the gravely injured Dragon Team. He looks up and bows
Beerus.
to Beerus and Whis for
I'm
their
sorry,
help.
Beerus
He
needs to
observes-
step in. This is too
Beerus?
much.
Yeah, he was just hangry.
Yeah, this is way too much for them, bro.
from above and decide to head to Bulma's for food. They notice Merus is absent, but see no harm in leaving him behind. Dende utilizes his healing abilities to mend Goku's severe chest wound, and the Saiyan regains consciousness, questioning Moro's whereabouts. Dende explains that Moro is battling Merus, and Goku recalls the warning that any angel who fights seriously will be erased from existence. In haste,
That
Goku
sucks,
rushes to
man.
the battlefield to assist. Merus and Moro continue their skirmish, skirmish, with Moro starting to gain the upper hand. He senses that Merus is containing his true power and wonders why he's relying on a tool to fight. To Moro's surprise, Goku arrives at the battlefield, concerned about Merus sacrificing himself for their sake. He tells Merus to fall back and powers up to Ultra Instinct's sign, prompting Moro to wonder if Goku was healed by the Namekian he'd heard earlier. Goku decides to go on the offensive. However, he fails to land a single blow, as Whis at the same time tells Beerus that he doubts Goku can make any headway against Moro. But he's Ultra Instinct, how could he not? Sign. Consequently, Moro knocks Goku away with ease, and his impending crash is halted by Merus' abilities, leading Moro to taunt Goku about using the same technique that failed him in the recent past. Merus states that a final push is needed to trigger Goku's mastery of Ultra Instinct, when suddenly Moro grabs Merus' copying his abilities. However, Merus uses his angel staff to cut the villain's hand off before he can use them,
he cut his hand off.
Disable Moro's power sealing abilities. Beerus and Whis detect Merus has begun using his angel powers, and Beerus suggests turning around to try to stop him. While Merus confronts Moro again and uses his staff to destroy the crystals in Moro's palms,
I know,
he shares his background with Goku.
He's doing it for the right reasons.
Despite being born as a neutral angel, he developed a sense of justice during his time in the Galactic Patrol. Seeing how the Galactic Patrol members strive to protect the galaxy despite being outmatched by ever more powerful criminals, Merus concluded that peace is worth fighting for. As Merus begins to fade away, Goku urges him to stop, but he presses on, revealing the angelic halo around his neck as he intends to unleash his final attack. With one final charge towards Moro, Merus recalls his time in training with Goku and his words, believing in Goku's fascinating ideals to reform villains despite
this shit's gonna break our heart when it's animated.
Moro launches an energy attack, but Merus flies straight through it and lands a punch directly on the crystal on Moro's forehead, shattering it. As he crashes down to the ground below, Moro's power sealing abilities are now disabled, and Merus begins to disintegrate. Goku and Jaco look on with sadness as Merus tells Goku that achieving Ultra Instinct in his current level of strength will make him far more stable and unbeatable. Merus tells Goku to protect the galaxy he's grown to love and fades away. Beerus and Whis observe nearby, Whis expressing his thoughts over the loss of his younger brother, as Goku, torn by sorrow and anger over Merus' passing, summons newfound strength. While Goku attempts to console himself, he shares with Jaco an important lesson he learned from Merus, that he's not fighting alone. He recognizes that Merus' sacrifice was not only for his own benefit, but the universe as a whole. Goku questions Jaco on why he chose to join the Galactic Patrol, to which Jaco responds that it's because he wanted to uphold peace in the galaxy, and of course because the uniform looked cool. Goku, acknowledging his current role as a member of the Galactic Patrol, states that it's now his responsibility to protect the universe as well. Suddenly, Moro returns, but discovers that Merus is no longer present. Goku informs Moro of Merus' demise, and that it's his duty to defeat Moro once and for all. Declaring that Merus' will still lives within him, Goku taps into his inner power, sending a surge of energy into the sky as Gohan and Piccolo observe from a distance. Beerus comments on how well the transformation is going, and Whis states it's finally time for Goku's grand unveiling. As the Earth settles after Goku's sudden power up, he emerges in perfected Ultra Instinct. With a slow stride,
Ultra Instinct
Goku
perfected.
leaving Moro in horror. In a frantic attempt, Moro attacks, but Goku effortlessly grabs his arm before he can execute the move, stating he won't be harming the Earth any longer. Goku demonstrates his newfound strength by effortlessly dodging and blocking all of Moro's attacks, prompting Beerus to state Goku's fine-tuning his moves as the battle continues, to which Whis agrees. Moro attempts another powerful attack on Goku, but the Saiyan effortlessly evades his reach, appearing on the other side of the battlefield, much to Moro's shock. Moro questions Goku on how he's able to dodge the way he is, to which Goku explains that his body is reacting instinctively, which is why Moro's attacks can't hit him. Furious and unwilling to believe what he considers nonsense, Moro unleashes his full power as Goku prepares for the next round. Moro charges at Goku, intent to kill. However, Goku uses a God Bind to halt Moro's advance before lifting him into the air. A moment of silence ensues, and Goku jumps toward Moro, landing a powerful punch to his abdomen that sends shockwaves across the entire planet. Moro is visibly distressed before the aftermath results in him being launched into the air as Goku gracefully touches down on the battlefield. Beerus praises Goku's abilities, likening likening his fighting style to that of a god, a rare display of respect that astonishes Whis. Moro crashes to the ground, severely wounded, and Goku tells him it's futile to resist any longer. Goku questions if Moro finally feels the torment he's shown to others for so long, but Moro dismisses his question, stating he doesn't fear the power of a god and that he is and will always be the universe's supreme life form. Moro attempts to harness the planet's energy as an offensive measure, but this also proves ineffective. Goku kicks him into an energy stream, severing one of Moro's arms in the process. Moro then tries to drain the Earth's energy for himself as a way to spite Goku, but before he can succeed, Goku strikes him hard in the stomach and sends him crashing into a rock nearby, causing a massive chunk to break away and body Moro underneath. Lacking the energy to even move, Moro weakly pleads for mercy from Goku. Silent for a moment, Goku verifies with Jocko that Moro had previously received a death sentence, and with a simple gesture, removes his gi with the Galactic Patrol emblem, declaring that he'll now fight as an Earthling. This act alarms Beerus greatly, as he states he's got a bad feeling on what's about to happen. Over in the distance, Krillin arrived with a bag full of sensu beans, observing Goku's growing dominance over his opponent Moro. Goku destroys the boulder pinning Moro and challenges him to get up. He then disappears before Moro's eyes and reappears beside Krillin, taking the bag of sensu beans from him. Goku returns to face Moro and offers to spare his life, but only on the condition that he return to the Galactic prison and vow not to.
You pulling a fucking... He's pulling a fucking cell?
Yeah.
Again? Why?
Because it's Goku and he's always gonna do that.
Again. Moro hastily accepts the offer and Goku tosses him a sensu bean, explaining that it will instantly restore his stamina, much to the horror of Krillin and Jocko. Moro consumes the sensu, healing his injuries, and when Goku tells him to leave once more with Jocko, Moro reveals that he lied and launches an attack on Goku, attempting to pierce his chest as before. However, Moro's arm shatters against Goku's robust body, causing him to cry out in pain. Whis comments on the sturdiness of Ultra Instinct when honed properly, and Beerus calls Goku an idiot, urging him to finish the job. Goku calls Moro a coward and asserts that he could never defeat him, reverting to his normal state. He questions whether Moro has ever engaged in training, to which Moro admits that he hasn't, claiming that training is for the weak. Goku expresses his disappointment, wishing Moro had chosen to grow stronger through training rather than consuming planets and harming innocent lives. Suddenly, Jocko cuts in, urging Goku to hurry and finish off Moro, as he clearly has no intention of turning over a new leaf. However, Goku opts to talking to him a bit longer. Moro screams in frustration, shocked that he could be defeated by a tribe that emerged only a few million years ago. Goku then questions Moro's intentions on returning to prison, and when Moro defiantly vows to continue devouring planets, Goku reactivates perfected Ultra Instinct with the intention of finishing him off. When Moro inquires about Merus' ability to use the same technique, Goku confirms he was able to do so. Moro then notices his severed hand next to Goku and recalls grabbing Merus' neck before he disappeared. Moro then dons an evil smirk and summons his severed hand back to him, stating how soon his body will also move on instinct. Moro then reattaches his once severed hand, incorporating Merus' powers and abilities, transforming into an angelic form with his crystals now recovered on his body.
Yo, are y'all serious?
He should have just finished the job. Moro
He should have.
Blow on Goku, stealing the bag of sensu beans, and destroys them as the two prepare to continue their battle. The combatants charge toward one another, and Whis teleports Jocko and Krillin inside his barrier for their safety, as the powerful clash creates a massive explosion. Concerned about potential Earth damage, Goku requests Moro to follow him, and they continue their skirmish in the sky. Moro is amazed at what his newly enhanced body can do, and they race across the planet, with Moro separating in two with his magic, cutting Goku off and landing a kick on him, sending him crashing into a mountain. Moro reminds Goku of his magical abilities, but Goku remains undaunted, encouraging Moro to try harder. Goku launches a kick that Moro blocks, and his arm swells up significantly.
He's basically fighting an angel at this point.
Who skillfully dodges it and counters with a powerful kick to Moro's back, causing Moro's upper body to inflate as well. Jocko questions what's going on, and Whis explains to Jocko that Moro's body is struggling to contain the angelic power coursing within thinning. With Moro continuing to swell with each blow, Goku gains the upper hand and tells Moro he's making the same mistake as Saganbo. Goku says that he's only able to withstand Ultra Instinct because he's trained his body to do so, but Moro's body is hitting its limit. He urges Moro to relinquish Merus' power before it consumes him, but irritated, Moro attempts to attack Goku again. As Moro's body deteriorates after a blow to the back of the head, he expresses his desire for a stronger body to withstand this power. Krillin and Jocko cheer Goku on, believing the Earth is saved, but Whis notices something strange. Whis advises Goku to finish Moro off, as prolonging the battle would be unwise. Goku agrees and moves to deliver the final blow, but Moro surprises him by merging with the planet itself.
What
the fuck? Ki blast from his mouth, engulfing Goku in its stream, although he remains unharmed. As Moro boasts about becoming one with the Earth, Whis informs everyone that Moro's fate is now intertwined with the planet.
This is some shit.
Would result in the Earth's destruction. Additionally, Moro's body has transformed into a colossal bomb capable of obliterating the entire galaxy.
Seriously?
Moro arrogantly laughs, declaring that this is the end for Goku, to which the Saiyan stands in awe. Meanwhile, Gohan and the other Dragon Team members notice a disturbance on the battlefield where Goku and Moro are clashing. They see the battlefield moving further away from them, and Vegeta realizes that Moro is absorbing their energy. He urgently instructs everyone to get off the ground and states that Goku's likely screwed up again. In different parts of the world, the Earth's inhabitants feel the effects of Moro's energy absorption as they notice they're feeling extremely weak. On the battlefield, Moro revels in taking the Earth's energy, and as Goku orders him to stop, Moro summons multiple fists from the Earth's surface to assail Goku from all directions. Whis observes that Moro's energy continues to surge, reaching dangerous levels that could lead to the planet's destruction, and Beerus, watching as well, surprisingly decides to intervene. However, Beerus is suddenly summoned by the Grand Priest, the cause likely being the disappearance of the angel Merus. This leads to both Beerus and Whis to prioritize the meeting with the Grand Priest and abandoning the Earth, surprising Krillin and Jocko. Before departing, Whis advises Goku to defeat Moro by targeting the crystal on his forehead, which will force Moro to release Merus' power and spare the Earth. In the middle of his explanation, Moro attempts to hit Whis with one of his planet fists, but Whis manages to block it with a mere finger. Instructing Goku to have faith in his own power, Whis joins Beerus in departing for the Angel Realm, but not before Beerus tells Goku to save some food for him, and the two take off. Moro's power continues to swell, causing the crystal to sink deeper into his body. Suddenly, Vegeta arrives in his Super Saiyan Blue evolved state, using his Force Spirit Fission technique to strike the ground to make Moro deflate. Vegeta urges Goku to destroy the crystal quickly, explaining that he can only extract Moro's spirit energy for a limited time before becoming exhausted. Determined to end things, Goku charges in, dodging Moro's hands and flying through them, but he falls short of reaching Moro's forehead and becomes entangled by Moro. Goku questions his inability to do what Merus did, wondering if he truly possesses enough divine power. Jocko then gets an idea and uses his rocket boots to fly away, telling Krillin he needs to run an errand. Goku's power is rapidly drained, causing him to revert to his base form as the other members of the Dragon Team arrive alongside Vegeta. Piccolo suggests that Vegeta, who can use Force Spirit Fission, gather their energy and transfer it to Goku in reverse, to which Vegeta acknowledges is possible and prepares to do so. Piccolo telepathically tells Dende to gather energy from everyone at the lookout as well, and on a distant island, Goten and Trunks hear Piccolo's voice, offering their energy as well. With energy contributions from everyone,
they both were wearing the 17.
Vegeta collects the energy and passes it to Goku, revitalizing him enough to achieve Super Saiyan Blue. However, it's still not sufficient enough to reach the crystal, surprising everyone who's now out of energy to give. Suddenly, Jocko arrives at the lookout and urgently inquires about Boo's whereabouts. Meanwhile, Goku reverts to his base form once more and hope begins to wane. Yamcha suggests leaving Earth and using the Super Dragon Balls to return everything to normal, but Krillin states this wouldn't work, as when Moro explodes, the entire galaxy will go along with him. Moro's power then overwhelms him, causing him to go insane. The Dragon Team prepares for a final attempt to save Goku, but they suddenly spot an immense ball of godly energy approaching, originating from a young boy named Oob, the reincarnation of Kid Buu, aided by the Grand Supreme Kai.
Wait, y'all bringing Oob back?
His power split, his divine power went to Kid Buu. However,
Holy
upon Goku's defeat many
shit.
years ago, his reincarnation Oob received that same power. Vegeta
he's
transfers
back?
this energy to Goku again, allowing him to reawaken his perfected
Oh
Ultra
my
Instinct.
God.
Goku manifests an ethereal giant energy avatar of himself that
What?
overpowers Moro. His physical body then leaps out of the avatar and delivers a mighty punch to Moro's crystal, shattering it. Moro disintegrates and is consumed by a massive explosion, much
They
to the surprise
implemented
of the Dragon
Oob.
Team, who are caught in the explosion as well. As the dust settles, Krillin wonders what happened, to which Piccolo signals to Goku, and Goku turns to his friends, giving a joyful thumbs up to celebrate their apparent victory. After confirming Moro's demise, Goku's friends quickly rush to him in joy. The news of Goku's victory spreads rapidly throughout the Lookout and planet Yardrat, much to everyone's joy. Vegeta lands next to Goku and inquires about the source of his final power surge. Goku is uncertain, but believes that there must be another remarkable individual on Earth. In Oob's village, the Grand Supreme
There he
Kai
is.
expresses his gratitude to Oob for his pivotal role, hailing him as the universe's savior. Oob, curious about the stranger's identity, is told that they share a kinship before bidding a farewell, surprising Oob, who thinks that may have all
Man,
been a
hell
dream. The
yeah.
Grand Supreme Kai teleports to the Lookout and reverts to Buu, much to Hercule's delight. In celebration of their victory, Hercule hosts a grand feast in his garden,
Oh
attended
my
by all
God,
of Goku's friends
Oob.
and family. Following the festivities, Goku accompanies Eska back to his home world on New Namek. There, the Namekian Dragon Balls are used to summon Porunga, who restores the planets destroyed by Moro and revives those killed by him and his henchmen, including the Grand Elder Mori and the inhabitants of planet Zoon. The
Yes,
universe
sir.
is swiftly restored to its pre-Moro state, with the exception of Merus, who was erased from existence for violating the Angel's code. A few days
R.I.P.
later,
Merus.
Goku, Vegeta, and Buu are honored at the Galactic Patrol headquarters in a ceremony attended by Jocko. They're awarded medals for their pivotal roles in Moro's defeat, and as the Galactic Patrolman announces the honorees, there's an unexpected fifth member, Merus, who emerges from the crowd, shocking Goku and Vegeta, who believed he had no longer existed. Merus explains that while he's still alive, he's no longer an angel. A few days earlier, at Grand Zeno's palace, Beerus and Whis kneel before the
thank
Grand
God.
Priest, who isn't happy about the situation with Merus. Beerus attempts to pin the blame on Whis, and Whis apologizes, feeling responsible for Merus' code violation. The Grand Priest reveals that he personally erased Merus temporarily before bringing him back as a mortal, stripping him of his angelic powers and immortality.
I mean,
This
that's
act of
good,
mercy
right?
by the
That's-
Grand Priest was made possible due to the Supreme Kai, who offered his own life in exchange for Merus's. Beerus scolds the Supreme Kai, stating that their lives are one and the same, so if he dies, Beerus dies too. However, in the midst of this,
Interesting.
the Grand Priest explains that he'll have to impose a penalty on the three, as they're assigned a task of playing with the Zenos as their attendants
God.
are given time off. Back in the present, at
the
the
God
Galactic
pad.
Patrol
Yeah.
headquarters, Goku and company continue to enjoy themselves, concluding the celebrations with a commemorative photo. And with that, Goku and Vegeta's time as Galactic Patrol members comes to an end, and the universe enjoys peace once more.
Nice.
Oh my God, I loved that.
Chat, that was probably one of the greatest arcs
That was so good.
I've ever witnessed, dude. It's so
That
good.
was so good.
It reminded me of Dragon Ball Z.
Literally.
Peak
And
writing.
we saw, ooh.
Yeah, his introduction, yeah.
Okay, realistically, when are we getting this? I need someone to tell me. Please.
No, that's the thing. You know, if I would have read this earlier on in time when it first came out, I would have been pissed waiting this long for it. But now I have to wait for it to
If
get animated
anything,
as well.
it kind of made me feel like I just got a little bit of, you
Super
know,
back.
like I got a little bit of super, and I can wait, I guess, a little bit longer, but
God damn.
that's fire. It makes me kind of want to read the
Yeah, for
manga.
sure. You guys weren't lying. This arc is peak. Moro having like what, 4 transformations? What the fuck? Him standing toe to toe with Ultra Instinct? Man.
Then Vegeta.
Vegeta also learning some new moves as well.
Really fire.
I think Moro in my favorite villains list, he's top 3 for sure.
He's fire.
He's top
He was
3.
really cool. I like when
They
he
wouldn't-
fused with the, or when he like took
7-2, 7-3?
yeah.
Whatever the number is.
Yeah.
When he
took his
absorbed him?
power.
Yeah. No, what I loved about it is that they couldn't win without the help of an angel.
Yeah.
It showed how strong he was. they were in talks to make Moro arc into a movie, I wouldn't be mad. Honestly, this shit is fucking fire. I think this is probably the best arc in Super.
Really good.
It is. We are gonna read the next arc as well, probably the next stream or 2 streams later. We are gonna read it. Oh man, this was too good.